and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnocky, and as always, I'm here with Matt Stewart and Jess Perkins.
Hello, David. Hello, Matt.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Jess. Hey, just quick thought I've been having. How good is it to be alive?
Well, to answer that question, I've brought in a very special guest. How good is it to be alive? Let's find out with Bec Petraitis.
It's me. I'm the person who says how great it is to be alive. That's my job. That's why I'm here. And Bec, can we get an official ruling, please? It's pretty good. Yes.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I've been asking that question for months, and it's good to finally get an answer.
It's great. Yeah. The question, how great is it to be alive? Pretty good.
I'm sorry it took so long to get here and let you know.
Thanks so much,
Bec's
Bec. That's a weight off.
Yeah, I got some stuff on. And you've never been to this building before.
I don't know where I am. Who are you people?
People who don't know Bec, she's from Stupid Old Studios, and you got a show coming up. That's probably one of the reasons why you're super busy is you're at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
Yes, I'm doing a show. It's called Merry, and it's about a bad Christmas I had. But don't worry, you don't have to have one. You'll have a nice time at a show, and then you can experience
Bec
my
had
bad
a bad
times.
Christmas, so you don't have to.
That's right.
It was actually very
And the
very
show's in like March, April. So by the time real Christmas comes around, you'll have forgotten about the show because it won't be memorable. And then, you can just enjoy Christmas as is.
Yeah, that's the vibe I want people to walk away with. I want them
Perfect.
not to remember the show and to just go into the next Christmas fresh.
Yeah, get it out there.
And you're sharing a venue with Dave, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, we're both at Campari House, fantastic venue on Hardware Lane, and I think I've worked out that you can see Bec and my show. You might be 5 minutes late to my show.
Who cares?
But sneak in. If
You don't put any good stuff up top, do you?
Absolutely not. It's all padding.
Yeah.
It's and panicking.
And the end of my show, all juicy goodness.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So don't miss that. Don't you run away to Dave's show.
Don't miss
Don't
it.
It's all the juice off that Christmas turkey. The most
Yeah,
delicious bit.
Yeah, but I'm doing a show. It'll be good. It'll be nice. And I'd love people to come along.
Come along.
It'll be lovely.
Be there.
I'm going to do the double, but I probably will actually just skip Dave's show.
Still call it a double.
I'm going to book. How many can it hold? Your venue?
50 people.
I'm going to book 45 tickets.
If you're paying for that would be so good.
Yeah, but then
That
you have
would
to
be-
do a show to 5 if they all turn up.
Yeah, great. I hope no one turns up and then I just get to
Yeah, true, actually.
walk to the bank
Right.
and withdraw some money and buy a McDonald's meal. It's right near McDonald's.
Jess, if you want to do that to me as well, that's also
Okay,
fine.
I will
That's actually
bankroll
okay.
both of your shows.
Actually, no. People, don't do that. Don't buy tickets to my show if you can't come. It'll be so sad. So please don't
No,
do that.
don't. Only buy
go-
tickets if you can come.
Yeah, don't go to comedyfestival.com.au because it'll be so funny and sad for me. If
What
you,
a prank.
Yeah, got me.
You can prank me as well. My show, Ding. Buy all the tickets and don't show up, or show up. Well, I prefer you to show up, but as long as you buy the tickets, that's the main thing.
That's what we do this for.
I'll be
I'm at
honest.
a Chinese museum. And Jess, where's your show on it?
I am at Tick Swanston, and to be honest, it's not going to be super profitable anyway. I would prefer bums on seats. So you can buy a ticket, but please come and sit on a seat and laugh.
Oh, see, that's these people. They're so needy. They're in it for the laughter. I'm in it for the money.
Yeah.
We're also doing a quiz show, aren't we, Dave?
Oh yeah.
We are doing a quiz show on 3 Monday nights, April 3, 10 and 17 at the Melbourne Town Hall. Great time.
But enough of that plugging. Jess, what's this show we're doing and how does it work?
Well, this show is based on fun and friendship and learning. One of the three of us, this week it's Bec, who's a fourth of us.
One quarter of us.
Bec is a quarter of us. Has gone away, done some research on a topic, brought it back to the rest of the group, who politely listen and engage and ask really meaningful, thoughtful questions, and no dog shit riffs. We usually get onto topic with a question. Bec, I believe you have a question to start us.
Oh boy, do I.
Well done, Bec.
So, which fast food founder got into a shootout with a surprising foe?
Oh, a surprising
Ronald
foe.
McDonald.
Grimace.
Oh, yeah.
Founder?
I love we've gone
Wait, who founded it?
We've gone with everyone except the criminal. Birdie,
Could it have been Mr. Red Rooster himself?
Mr. Red Rooter, Johnny Rooter, founder of Red Rooster.
The Burger King?
Who's the Burger Queen? Anyway.
Is it the Colonel? Sanders.
You're bloody right,
It
Matt.
is-
It is Colonel Sanders.
Colonel
Yes.
Sanders.
Is it right? I don't think I
Sanders.
could tell you any other of the founders, like Subway or...
Well, yeah, Ronald McDonald found McDonald's.
Oh, yeah, of course.
No, that was correct. You were all
And we've
right.
done McDonald's, Ray Kroc before.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true.
That was my
Yeah.
report. Did not remember that name.
But Colonel Sanders,
Yes. So now I think it's worth noting before I begin that pretty much all the information about the Colonel is either from his own words
Love that.
or information published by KFC.
Okay.
So I think we should probably take most of this with a grain of salt.
Bit of grain of chicken salt.
A grain of secret herbs and spices.
Nah, you ruined it.
No, that's... you don't know salt is one of the secret herbs and spices.
How many
They're
others?
secret.
Is it 9? How many herbs and spices are there?
11, my
7,
friend.
11.
Well,
I knew that.
9 plus salt and
Paprika.
different type of salt.
Throughout this, I want you to work it all out,
Okay.
and then I'm going to be a billionaire.
Okay.
But it also, I wrote this report while eating KFC.
Because-
So I was bright.
Beck, you're a big fan of Kentucky Fried.
I do love it. I did have a podcast back in the day called Kentucky Fried Chattin', where
And that's-
we ate the whole KFC menu. Yes.
One menu item at a time, is that right?
One menu item at a time.
Including the refresher towelettes, is that right?
Yeah, we did.
Wow.
We did.
Try and
Just
chew
a
them.
quick, a quick taste, yeah. And you know what? I don't think they were as bad as a lot of things.
Really?
Wow.
You would put them above some other stuff?
yeah,
Like
definitely.
one of those coleslaw shakers or whatever they
yeah,
have.
they were refreshing
Okay. Well,
Delicious.
and beautiful palate cleanser. If you do, don't eat the towelettes. That's a good thing to start.
That's a
on.
good way. Yeah,
That's
good
a
way to
thing
start.
on.
Don't eat the towelettes.
Yeah.
you'll
Also,
spoil your appetite.
also writing this turned me into my high school self. I've never felt more like I'm presenting a bunch.
Yeah.
And you're anyway.
I feel like every time I
Yeah.
have flashbacks to uni, being
Yeah.
up all night,
Yeah.
cramming in study.
I'm trying to work out whether I have highlighted the interesting parts of his life or I just want to pass and get a
P's get
get
degrees.
That's true.
Yep.
Well, this is going to be a HD. All right. So,
I'll decide that.
well, it's-
HDs also get degrees. They don't tell you that, but it's true.
Holy
don't.
shit.
Yeah.
Never thought of that.
What?
D's get degrees.
Oh my god.
Like, it can be anything in between. If people from other countries with different scoring systems are so confused right now, a P's just a pass. Anyway, take it away, Beck.
Speaking of HD, Colonel Harland David Sanders.
Oh.
David.
Harland.
Harland.
I like it.
Is that who the Globetrotters are named after?
Yes.
Never knew that.
Learning a lot.
I didn't write that down, but that is
wow.
true. He was born September 9th, 1890, on a farm either near or in Henryville, Indiana. I found conflicting reports on the official KFC website and Encyclopedia Britannica, so
Right.
believe the source you trust more.
He's not,
I don't know which one.
he's not even from Kentucky.
No, well, it's very close to. So Henryville's a tiny, tiny census-designated space. They don't even really call it a town, but it is a town. Sanders did not have an easy start to life or middle to life, but had a pretty remarkable after middle to life.
Oh, and a great
Afterlife.
afterlife. We celebrate that guy.
I mean, he kind of still does exist.
He'd be flame grilled right now, I reckon. You know what I mean? He's about to do some real
He got
bad
Hungry
things.
Jaxed. Surely he'd be fried.
No, yeah, good point.
Yeah, but maybe he wanted to vary it up. I mean, you'll hear his opinions.
I'm
on
just
KFC
assuming that
reviews.
he's a bad person because of, I think, what was an untrue conspiracy theory I heard in high school. But let's find out if that's in there.
Oh my God, what did you do to those chickens?
So he was born on a farm. His mother was Margaret Ann Dunlevy, and his father was Wilbur Sanders, who worked as a farmer until an unfortunate fall where he broke his leg, and he later became a butcher. He told biographer Joel Ed Pierce that he had fond memories of his father as an easygoing man, but he did used to cry, as all children do, when his father sold any liver in his butcher shop because Sanders loved liver and feared he wouldn't bring any back for his family.
Yep.
Not the liver.
we all relate to
we
that.
can
Yeah.
all remember that childhood trauma of father selling the liver.
Oh, please, a little slither for me.
Please, a
slither of liver.
sliver of liver, Daddy.
Please.
Release some of the offal, please, Daddy.
Oh, Daddy, please! I've been such a good boy. I have. I know he's American, but it just you slip into Cockney way
Feels
easier.
right. But he didn't get his meat chopping chops from his dad, who sadly died when Harland was only 5 years old. He had two siblings, Clarence and Catherine, and he was the oldest. And according to his own autobiography, they all looked after themselves thanks to his mother's training. So Sanders says his mother taught him to always tell the truth, not cheat, and be kind to one another. She also encouraged them to not drink alcohol or smoke tobacco or gamble or play with matches. And she also apparently didn't let them whistle on Sundays. So it was all pretty... She was a devout Christian. And
We've
they
all read the Bible.
Yes.
There's that pretty full-on chapter about no whistling.
Yeah.
just Peter just going, shut up, Pop.
I don't want to hear it.
Annoying.
You know what happened last Sunday? It was in my head all week.
I only know 2 songs.
So in his early life, his mother Margaret used to do the odd sewing job around town and worked in a local tomato cannery to keep food on the table. And there's a particularly sad picture that Sanders paints of their mother's struggle to get even the small amount of sewing work she had. In his autobiography, he explained that in the small farming community, generally a man only had one suit. He got that to get married in, then he put it away and didn't have it on again until they laid him out in a casket when he died. So
honestly,
I can almost relate to that.
At that point, I'm like, because with wedding dresses, they cost like thousands and thousands of dollars, and then you just put it in a cupboard.
it's so sad.
So, like, it's a waste.
But it'd be cool if all the farmers wore suits.
I agree.
Just this one town. All the farmers really well dressed.
Business farmers.
Oh.
I reckon weddings are the only time I pull out a suit.
Yeah.
We haven't died yet.
That's true. That is
Give him
true.
time any minute.
But I've also heard that, there was an old tradition of, I don't know where or when. But,
Here we go.
But people...
Sounds speculative at best.
It was in the olden days. But where women would wear their wedding dress and then dye it black, and that would be their mourning dress for when people died.
What were they wearing in the afternoon? Hey-oh. Thank you so much. That's grim though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I suppose,
But it's a bit more resourceful,
Yeah, it
because
does make
otherwise
sense.
you just put your wedding dress in a box.
Yeah, that's right.
But
yeah.
wearing imagine a big ball gown, poofy ball gown that's black to a
Yeah.
funeral.
It's a bit
That'd
full on.
be cool.
But and everyone is?
Yeah.
Everyone just bouncing around the
Everyone's
church
like-
can't fit.
So sorry for your loss.
Nobody can pee at a funeral without taking a friend with them to help lift the dress up.
Yeah, they've all got these
Yeah.
trains with 3 people
Yeah.
carrying them.
All wearing their own dresses, needing someone.
Quite a production.
It's a conga line of sorts.
Yeah, I reckon just put on some black pants or something.
Yeah.
It's easier.
Yeah, I like that.
It does sound like it's tough if you're the person in town who knows how to sew. You're not getting a lot of work if
Oh, yeah.
people are wearing them once and then another time in 30 years.
Okay,
No.
now I understand the context.
Yeah.
It does,
I zoned out for a
sound,
bit in the middle.
sound tough.
It's not a good time.
Yeah.
But he tells the story in his autobiography of being 7 years old and hungry for bread while his mother was away working in the cannery, and he managed to make a loaf. So his siblings were so proud and impressed that they wanted to show his mum right then and there, because he'd basically just learnt from looking at the mother making things. So, like, just picked it up and tried to make it. So they all walked into town, and Sanders says, that's where I got in trouble, because all the women who were peeling tomatoes were so impressed that he could bake, they all had to give him one of those classic mum's friends kisses. You know, those ones that are like, oh, get it over here.
Oh, my little guy.
Grabbing the cheekies.
So he said, I almost swore never to bake another loaf of bread if I had to take such a muggin. His autobiography is all like lots of the letter N and then like the apostrophe, no word has a G on the end.
Yeah.
But his mother was also happy with him, and he marks this as the start of his cookin'. And he did say cookin'. And possibly the birth of the first official KFC dinner roll.
Oh.
Oh.
Is that a famous dish on the KFC menu?
Do you know what? It wasn't really. And also, this was a different type of bread. This was the bread he made had mashed potatoes in it.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, KFC published a recipe book, and it had this light bread, which was what he made, and you roll in like hot and warm mashed potatoes. to
Sounds
make it.
amazing.
Does
sounds
sound
pretty good. Yeah,
Yum.
cool bread. I would much prefer that than a dinner roll.
Because I love bread and potato. I'm just worried that combining the two will make them both worse. But you reckon it's better? Have you? Or you haven't tried it?
I haven't tried
worth
it.
a
Now that you're
try.
saying it, now I'm getting worried.
No, I reckon it'd be great.
And that's when here's what I prepared earlier. That'd be amazing, bringing
That would be.
bread to the pot. Oh,
Yeah.
I should have brought chicken in.
Yeah, I
Because
bet
it's
you feel like
usually
a real idiot.
just one of the senses that's tantalized on this podcast. But imagine if we bump that up to 2.
Whoa. Whoa.
Taste and the ear one. Hearing.
It rhymes with ear.
Oh, no.
You're so close.
But he didn't think to turn that childhood cooking into a worldwide empire yet. Instead, that lazy guy waited until the ripe old age of 10 to get his first job on a local farm, and he worked for a farmer called Charlie Norris. And Norris said he would pay the very young Sanders...
Chuck Norris?
Holy shit. It's Chuck frickin' Norris.
Whoa.
He is way older than you think.
Yeah.
This report has more cameos than I expected.
Wow.
Norris said he would pay the very young Sanders $2 a month and give him board to clear his land. And also if he beat him in a arm wrestle. I don't know.
$2 a month.
Yeah.
I know that's like old-timey money, but that's still not a lot, is it?
It wasn't. And also when you think that he is 10 and should not be working
Yeah.
anyway, you go, maybe not great.
That's what the horse might have said.
Hey! That's what the horse eats. What a mess. But unfortunately, Sanders got distracted. He was getting distracted by just being out in the land and seeing all the squirrels and the butterflies and the birds,
I get it.
enjoying his childhood.
Yeah, being a kid.
Spinning a wheel with a stick or something.
And he only managed to clear an acre of land in a month, which I think is pretty good.
That sounds great.
Yeah, but Farmer Norris, he didn't like it, and he said, "Boy, you ain't worth a daggone," which is a nice way of saying goddamn.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was a very cool thing to do. He cites this as his first career failure and as a turning point, which is interesting to have at 10. He didn't feel good about letting his mother down and not being able to contribute to the household. In his autobiography, he said, "I made a resolve right then and there. If I ever got a job again, nothing will ever keep me from finishing what I'm called on to do."
He was 10 years old.
Didn't
10
he?
years
He
old.
saw the loaf of bread as a turning point as well. I think he sees everything as a turning point.
I think he does.
I mean-
he really likes to talk up his own life. He really, in his autobiography, he makes it seem like a movie.
Every moment is momentous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but the problem is with that many turning points, you just do a full 360 and keep going in the direction you started in.
that sounds pretty good though, because then you're still going forward, I guess.
Right. But, I mean, why bother with a turn? Slowing you down.
Sometimes
Pizzazz.
just for a different view,
A spin.
you know? Bit of fun.
Okay.
You're always like, I gotta get from A to B. And I'm like, yeah, but what's in between? Know what I mean?
Chicken.
Well, it's a little while till we get there. So this spurred young Sanders on, taking on some really cool and fine farm work up until the age of 13. And now, according to a timeline on the KFC UK website, this was the age he left home to seek his fortune. But I think that paints too cheery a picture. Now, this wasn't the story of a young boy setting off in the world to become a young business prodigy like in a fun Pixar film about capitalism. Unfortunately, the story is more a sad Pixar short that plays before the main movie
yeah.
about how sometimes families are no good and he would be played by like an anthropomorphic apple or something. I don't know. But his mother remarried a man called William Broadus, who did promise to take care of the family, but this meant moving everyone out to Indiana to a farm, and Sanders was expected to help him with the farm and then also sell all these groceries and do a bunch of things, and things got pretty bad between them. They had a pretty bad relationship.
Right. Evil stepfather.
Yes.
This is more like a Disney film now.
Yeah, it doesn't get good. So also at around the same time, Sanders tells a story of his algebra teachers saying X equals the unknown quantity. And that didn't sound no good to me. If there was an unknown quantity, I wanted to find out about it. Else, I didn't want to mess with it.
Yeah, that's how algebra works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, just follow the
You
rules.
figure it out.
Yeah.
You figure
I'm
out.
not getting into this. Witchcraft.
Yeah.
You
Pretty
just
soon, it will be a known quantity.
Just turn to the back page in the textbook, and there the answer is right there.
The way you described his life with the new dad didn't sound that bad. It was like, and he got to work on the farm.
I think maybe she's...
It gets a little bit.
Okay.
It gets a little bit worse.
Right, yeah, because he was already working on a
Yeah.
farm.
Yeah, that's right. Because it sounds like that's what he would have liked to have done. So it must have been bad for him to be like,
yeah. I think
Yeah.
maybe
Like
she's
this.
doing a bit of editing on the spot. You know,
Oh
like
no, I was gonna go. I'm
Okay.
gonna jump in, but I was just gonna before it got really bad. He said that in his own words, me and school parted,
okay.
and he was about 6th, 7th grade, so kind
Yeah,
of
wow.
a Bill Gates dropout, but earlier, I guess.
Okay.
Is that
Thanks for
allowed?
putting it in language I understand. Gates language.
Gates language. I know you love Windows.
Yeah, if you want
I
to
love
talk to me
Windows.
about something, tell me how does it affect me in terms of Microsoft or that
Yeah.
little clip that talks to you.
clip art?
Clippy.
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 Did Bill Gates drop out of college, or have I just made that up on the fly? Did he?
I don't know. He seemed
know.
like the kind of guy who would have finished
that
it, but
feels like the vibe. Maybe not.
no,
okay.
I don't.
He does have a bit of a boy genius vibe.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
This isn't even the person.
What's his name? Who are we talking about?
The person I love.
I'm looking up Bill Gates dropout. Let's see what it says. Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard after 2 years.
Sorry?
to
He
start
dropped out of
Microsoft.
where?
Harvard.
Thank you.
Perfect.
I had no idea what you were talking
So
about.
yeah, you're right. A couple years later
Yeah.
for Bill Gates.
Harvard.
Harvard.
So Sanders got work at around 12 at a local cart works where he painted some carts as well. It's also where he got into his first big fist fight with a co-worker who owed him 5 cents.
Yeah.
And this is sort of the start of some, this is the beginning of a few bad things that will happen.
I've killed over 5 cents. Let's move on.
I'm just realizing I'm picturing him the whole way wearing like a white linen suit.
I also
but
was doing that as well.
But then I've just remembered you said he wouldn't have worn one yet. He
No.
hasn't been married.
No.
And he hasn't died.
No, he's only 13 at this
He
point.
hasn't been married yet?
I know.
What's the male equivalent of a spinster?
It's more positive. I think it's bachelor. Confirmed bachelor.
Confirmed 13-year-old bachelor, Colonel Sanders, says that things went a bit bad for him from here, really. That a couple of days after he got into the fist fight, his stepfather was angry about some work he apparently didn't do correctly and became a bit violent. Sanders managed to run away, but unfortunately Sanders' mother's reaction to this was to pack him a suitcase, the only one the family owned, with his clothes in it. He left his family and says that he knew his mother was crying and he walked away and he didn't dare turn back because he was also crying. This is a comedy podcast. Not sure why.
She kicked him out.
She kicked him out,
because his stepdad wasn't happy with some work he did.
Yeah.
But she did give him their only suitcase.
So that's apparently it was a paper suitcase. So I don't know if that's.
Oh my gosh.
So it falls apart as it's raining.
Yeah,
He's walking
it's
away,
so
it rains.
It's such a sad.
All of a sudden he's just got the handle.
Yeah. And it's not clear whether he was given somewhere to go. There's some suggestions he was told to go visit his uncle who was in New Albany. But there's other suggestions he just left and hitchhiked. He just basically got away.
The one that got away. The Colonel Sanders story.
I mean, that's a good thing, though, because I don't think it was a good situation.
No.
Seems like it worked out all right in the end.
Oh, my goodness.
But not for quite some time, I think.
We're so early. So
Not for chickens, mind you.
no, if anything.
They wish he stayed at home.
I wish I worked out how many chickens.
Oh, God. No.
How
that
much
would be so
chicken blood
sad.
was on his hands?
Oh, on his white suit as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. What a nightmare.
Yuck.
So he did go to stay with his uncle, who was Dick Dunleavy, and got some more work on a farm, and that lasted about 2 years. So that was KFC's left home at age 13 to seek his fortune, which I don't know if that's...
a little positive spin on that.
Yeah.
Everyone involved in his life so far have had great names.
Yeah.
We've had Wilbur. We've had his name, Harvard or whatever.
Harland.
Then
Catherine. That's a good one.
That's
Catherine,
a wonderful one.
but his brother, what was his brother's name? It was Catherine and someone else great.
It's not the C.
Clarence.
Clarence is one of my favourites.
Yeah, I think I've included a lot of the names because I thought you would enjoy them.
Yeah. Clarence Hunt is one of my all-time favourite names.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And Dick Dunleavy.
Dick Dunleavy is so good.
It's beautiful.
Oh, my God.
So when he reached age 14, he began to grow tired of farm work.
I get that.
Yeah, he quit for greener pastures, but not in a literal sense. I wrote that and went, that's good.
That's funny.
That's a good one. Tick. So this marks Colonel Sanders' very long and very varied career in varied careers. From here, he really... His life, if it happens the way he says it happens... My goodness. So his Uncle Dick worked for the New Albany Streetcar Company and he helped him get a job as a fare collector. So sort of,
Yeah,
working on the trains,
Yep.
Standing with a group of really inconspicuous people.
Yes.
And you're like, they don't look like they all belong together.
So that's what a streetcars are like. It's just public transport, is it?
Yeah.
So there's that. What's the streetcar named Desire? It's like a play or a musical or something.
Tennessee
from The
Williams.
Simpsons.
Was that an actual streetcar named... It
Is
didn't
it-
have
or is
desire.
it-
I don't know anything about that.
Oh, I think I only know it from The Simpsons.
Yeah,
They've-
so it's a play. I've done it on book sheet.
You're
If you wanna
right.
hear
Oh.
more, but then they adapted it as a musical, which is very funny.
Oh,
This is
so it's not
dramatic.
actually a musical. Yes, great.
yeah. It's the one with Stella.
Yeah.
Stella.
That's
So
right.
it's very dramatic, very serious. A breakdown of a
Marlon Brando?
relationship and family. Yes, there's Marlon Brando in the movie adaptation. And then they turn it into a musical in The Simpsons, and that's very funny.
Matt,
Right.
don't worry. I genuinely thought most of the musicals in The Simpsons were real. Like the Planet of the Apes musical.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, that's definitely real.
Yeah.
They're just singing.
If not, why not? They'd be smart to
That would be amazing.
make some of these real.
I mean,
reckon.
Cruel Intentions Simpsons is a musical at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that I did not expect.
What's the song in Planet of the Apes on The Simpsons?
Dr. Sayers.
Dr. Sayers, Dr. Sayers. That's right.
That's a banger.
It's so good.
He can talk. He can talk. He can talk. He can talk. He can sing. I can sing.
So, he got the job. I'm just trying to find my spot again.
Oh, which job was this?
Streetcar.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yes.
right,
He
yes.
was working on the streetcars. He really enjoyed it, and he said he would have stayed with the company indefinitely had it not been for a regular commuter who he run afoul of one day. That was not a chicken pun, but I've just realised it could have been, and I've missed the opportunity. A man who worked at the US Army Quartermaster Depot. The man suggested he volunteer as they were looking for more troops to send to Cuba because the US military were intervening on the ground during the election. It was a whole, it all sounded very, not great.
And we're here to talk about chicken,
Yeah,
not complex wars.
no, I tried. I did
We
read
leave
it,
that
and I was
stuff
like,
to
should
Dave.
I include a bunch about the Platt Amendment?
Nah.
But I decided not to.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Good decision.
Unless that Platt is in one of his new bread rolls that he's baking.
Oh, that would be so good. If you could get like a pull-apart roll from KFC.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Filled with mashed potato.
Cheese and chives.
Cheese and chives.
Good stuff.
Chicken, cheese and chives.
Chicken, cheese and chives. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
If the Colonel's listening.
Everyone, chicken,
Actually,
cheese, and
Mr.
chives.
Law.
Chicken,
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 cheese,
chicken,
Chicken, cheese and chives.
chicken, cheese, and chives.
I can sing.
So, according to his biography, The Colonel, Sanders thought about it and he said, well, I was getting on and it was maybe time I saw something of the world. And at this time, he wasn't even 16. But he was already
I'm
doing
getting
that.
on.
I'm getting on. Time to do something. I mean, I did feel that at 16, actually. I was like, this is it, isn't it? Oh, no.
Yeah, I guess I'll be in year 10 forever.
Yes, this is my life now. Better settle down.
So the next thing he did was he signed up for the army. He lied and said he was 21. He said he taught him a valuable lesson about lying because it really wasn't a nice time. He was shipped off to Cuba along with some fellow shipmates. 1,500 mules.
That's too many.
That's too many
Oh
mules.
my god, was he the mule boy looking after the mules?
He was. It was his job to take care of them.
Oh my god.
And the smell of mule poop and the boat listing in the waves made him feel incredibly seasick.
Oh god.
It is-
Imagine how many sisters you could buy for that many mules. We found it. I saw a poster. I talked about it on an episode a few weeks ago. This is tedious.
This is
but
a reference.
There was,
No,
a,
that's- yes!
there was a movie poster. It was called, I think it was something like Two Mules for Sister Sarah.
Yeah.
And that was the name of the movie. And we were laughing about how, this is from the 50s or something. It's like all movie names are available. Why do we have these sort of, but 1,500 mules? You could buy a whole family for that.
It also sounds like 2 mules equals 1 nun.
Yeah,
And I
that's
like
right.
the weird math systems of the past. They were kind of beautiful.
It's a Clint Eastwood and Shirley MacLaine
What
movie.
the heck?
That poster is up at Club Voltaire. 2 mules for Sister Sarah.
I love that. Well, he had too many mules.
Too many mules
Too
for
many
Sister
mules
Sarah.
for Sister Sarah.
Yeah, she's. Oh, no thanks.
I'm good.
He described the time as the most miserable thing any man ever went through, which is a lot considering he's the reason the popcorn chicken slab existed for a limited time. So that's a
Popcorn chicken slab.
oh
Yeah.
my word!
I
It
don't-
actually was pretty good. That one I liked.
What is that? I don't understand what that means.
It was a. The dinner rolls, so they didn't split them, and it was, I think, 6 of them.
Yeah.
And then it was popcorn chicken in the middle, barbecue sauce cheese.
Oh my god.
And I think there was something else in there. And I ate that during lockdown, and that was good.
Okay.
That was actually a good time during
All
lockdown.
right.
I had a nice time.
It's like sliders, really. Like little mini burgers,
Yeah,
I
that
guess.
sounds
in a
right.
way.
Right.
If you didn't try to eat it all, yes.
Yeah. But trying to eat. Did you not separate them as well?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Just a
I ate it
knife
like
and
a
fork?
big,
No,
big.
no chewing. Kind of more like a duck.
I do eat like a duck. So he was only in the army for 4 months and he got honorably discharged after he voluntarily left Cuba.
Did he ever reach the rank of colonel?
No.
Okay.
Not
Oh.
yet.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people would go into this going, you call him a colonel. He's not really a colonel. Well, guess what?
Oh,
Guess what?
that's cool.
This is
I
exciting.
did think I just thought he was one of those, like
you just said
Elvis's colonel. I don't think was he ever a colonel?
Well, he might be the same sort of colonel as
Right.
Colonel Sanders.
That's a bit of
but I'm not
corn.
sure. Oh no!
Don't you dare hate yourself for that. That was great.
That was beautiful. So he left Cuba, and from there he worked as a deckhand on a riverboat in Memphis. Oh my God, Memphis!
Oh.
Do you reckon he knocked in a Parker? Is it Colonel Parker? Is that the Elvis guy?
Yeah, Tom Parker.
Tom Parker.
I don't know who that.
He's like the manager of Elvis. I think.
Gotcha. Okay.
Have you seen the Elvis movie?
Nah.
Neither have I.
I think Tom Hanks plays him.
I
him.
haven't either.
With
I
some
see.
strange
I haven't either.
face.
One of
Who
the-
saw that film?
Scene.
Was that popular?
Yeah, some
I
people
thought
loved
was.
it.
It's like it's made by an Aussie as well.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
a
Baz
Baz. It's a
Luhrmann.
Baz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Baz. Anyway.
Is Austin Butler okay, or do you reckon he's
Oh,
Elvis
nah.
forever now?
Yeah, he's Elvis forever.
He's like until his next role.
I would love to, if I got into a role and became them, but it was a cool person like Elvis, that'd be good.
Yeah,
cool.
Why
I mean-
would you go back?
It's incredible to me that they cast someone that looks kind of like Elvis.
Do you reckon he does?
No.
No.
Like, there's 10,000 people in the world that look more like Elvis, and they went, how about this guy?
Yeah, that's the first preview of it I saw. I'm like, I can't get my head around this guy being Elvis, which doesn't make any sense. It's not an impersonation sort of thing, but
Isn't that what acting is?
because there's impersonating.
Impersonate what in a
I think it would
biopic.
sound a little something. I like this. That's what they normally say before each
Yeah.
scene.
Every scene.
Yeah. But there, I was told he doesn't look like him because there's two types of people. You're either a frog or a rat.
Yeah.
And he's a frog, but Elvis was a rat or something like that.
There's two types of people?
Yeah,
Two types of
You guys
faces
have
or
to spend
something?
more-
I told you this.
You guys have to spend
Maybe
more time on
TikTok?
TikTok. Are
Yeah,
you not
maybe.
seeing Frog and Rat? Come on.
Oh, I saw a splat and a bloop or something.
Yeah.
Did you see
I
that
saw that
one?
recently. It wasn't Splat and Bloop.
This is really rotting our brains.
Yeah,
That we're like,
I've-
nah, frog or rat, splat or boop.
I had
No idea what you're talking about.
I dropped
yeah,
off.
good,
Stay away.
good.
Don't
I ran
come.
into a comedian the other night, Blake Freeman, who was like, is it just me? Or do you find like Instagram's more addictive lately? And I was like, I think you just have a show to write for the comedy festival and you don't want to. And he was like, yeah, that's it. Because I was like, 100%, I cannot get off TikTok at the moment. And I'm watching it like, this is all fucking trash. Trash, ad, misinformation, ad, get ready with me.
I'm getting people yelling at me.
Yeah.
Like people yelling at someone else in a car. And then I feel like they're yelling at me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I should write my show.
Yeah.
But then
I
I'm like,
won't.
how many? Maybe there won't be a yelling person in the next one.
Are they
There
yelling,
is.
hey, you, write that fucking show?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange, but I'm like, that's not related to me.
That's not for me.
That's not for
Couldn't
me.
possibly be. Anyway, sorry, Beck, we
Imagine the
derailed there.
algorithm being that specific.
So he's not a colonel yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's now a deckhand in Memphis, is that right?
Yes, but not for long because he did a bunch of
Cocaine. Sorry.
and zipped straight to Alabama. No, he was hopping freight trains. So he was like just jumping on freight trains for a summer, just like traveling around, seeing the sights.
With a knapsack sort of on his
Yeah,
back?
that's sort of
Oh,
vibe.
Sick.
And that led him to Sheffield, Alabama, where his uncle.
Mr. Sheffield, Alabama. That's where he gets his name.
I did not know
Not
that.
a lot of people know that.
Wow, and he's English.
Ah.
The nanny is such a complex. It has some complex lore I didn't know about.
She's the head of the acting thing now.
Fran Drescher?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Come on, we just got back on topic and now you've said Fran's the head of the acting thing now. So of course we have to explore that. What do you mean?
Well, she was just in the news because there's the guy from Cheers is saying let's stop all the COVID testing and stuff on site, and she's the head of the acting guild or whatever, and she agrees.
Talking about Woody
Woody
Harrelson.
Harrelson,
It's no surprise.
What?
and then the guy from Tim from Shawshank Redemption,
Tim Robbins.
Robbins. He was like,
Robbins,
yeah, I
Robinson,
agree.
Robbins.
And then
Robbins.
Fran Drescher's like, yeah, and I also agree. So-
Right, and she's like the president of like the Screen Actors Guild or something
Yes,
like that.
something like that.
So he's train hopping and he's ended up in Sheffield. Shut up, Alabama.
He has. So that was where his Uncle John helped him get a job on the Southern Railroad. And he was a blacksmith's helper. From there, he was transferred to Jasper, where he says in his autobiography he was given the job of doodling ashes.
Just keep doodling.
Keep doodling those ashes. It was a fun expression, but a bad job where you shake ashes out of a firebox. But that put him in the right place in the right time because when a fireman didn't show up, and the firemen are the ones that, throw the coal into the steam train and make it go.
Oh yeah.
Sanders was like, hey, I'm here. Can I do it? And he offered to take his place on a trial run, and then that became a regular job.
He was a fireman.
A fireman on the train.
Wow.
But because he was only 16, his mother had to sign for him to work.
Fire boy.
We're still at 16. This story I got real deep in the early life.
Yeah, wow.
His mother had to sign him on to work, and then he worked on the railroads for years. He loved it. He spent his time just like enjoying the sights, enjoying the vibes.
What about the sounds?
He hated the sounds. How dare you speak of the sounds? No, he loved it all. And he spent a lot of his time at the end of the line at Jasper in a local theatre. And at one session of the pictures, he happened to meet a young woman called Josephine King. Of Burger King, no. Imagine though. Sanders says in his autobiography that she was right pretty, and after only a few weeks, when he recognised that they were both looking forward to seeing each other, every time his train rolled in, he asked her to marry him.
Few weeks later.
Wow.
Just a
straight
few
in.
weeks.
I love how they didn't used to date.
Yeah.
That's the same as going, do you want to go for dinner?
Yeah.
Do you want to get married?
Do you want to go for a wedding?
I've got a suit.
Do you want to go
Yeah.
for
I'd love to
dinner
wear it.
forever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're very picky now, aren't we? We really we
Yeah,
take
just-
our time.
Shut up and marry.
We wait to get to know people. We make
Yeah.
sure they're not a murderer.
I think it's just a fashion cycle thing. It'll go back to that.
Yeah, God, I hope so. Hope it's soon.
So Josephine.
I'm looking for a bow.
Someone to pester you. Oh, how about now?
Well, I feel like maybe this will be a bad story for you on New Plans. So Josephine King and Hans Sanders got married in Jasper in 1909, and they moved into a place 80 miles from where his train stopped. Unfortunately, just as his love life was kicking off, his work life on the trains was in trouble.
No.
After joining his union, he helped a man who was wrongly fired get his job back and get a year of back pay. That would be great.
Oh my God.
Wouldn't that be great? A year
Fran
of back
Dresch
pay.
is actually the head of that union.
I would have loved if the nanny was on the railroads in the
Yeah.
same outfits.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would have been sick.
She would have
some
dressed
good
up in a
outfits.
cute sort of
Ba,
You know.
ba, 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 and just-
train driver hat
Yeah.
off to the side.
Yes.
The sequins.
Little mini skirt.
Yeah.
That would have been great. CC comes in. Fuck off!
Yeah.
That's the,
I've got
that
fond
was
memories of
nanny.
the show as well. Yes. Fuck off, CC.
That's the
Niles.
subtext.
Yeah.
That's the
That's it.
subtext.
Yeah, yeah.
He couldn't say fuck off, but that was
Yes,
that
his
was
eyes
his
said
felt
fuck
that.
off.
Yeah.
Uh,
Every time he threatened to poison her food or something, that was him.
It was
saying
much
fuck off.
worse than saying fuck off.
so he was basically a marked man after that. His bosses did not like him. And unfortunately, a few weeks later, he felt nauseous during a shift, and another fireman took his place, and he was caught by the trainmaster crawling out of the baggage coach after having a lie down, and the trainmaster was not happy, and I don't know if this sentence works. Let's all go on a journey together.
Okay.
The trainmaster was not happy, and in an act of job-based normative determinism,
Oh, yeah.
the fireman got a new job of being fired.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
that works, and I love
no,
it.
no, I don't know.
That
It's,
works.
no.
That's fantastic.
I live for that
No,
And
sentence.
that's straight off the KFC website?
Yeah, straight off the KFC website.
Nah, that is
Yeah.
just comedy writer Bec Petraitis right there.
That is, and then
Writer for Mad as Hell,
Yes.
the project.
oh boy,
What can't she do?
not eat chicken while I'm writing this. He was fired for insubordination, and he ended up getting work as a section hand, which was a lot less money, like so much less. Went from $7 a day to 70 cents.
Oh my
No
god.
good.
That's quite a drop.
Yeah,
He's,
so
he's used to that $7 a day kind of living.
yeah,
You
so
know, the jacuzzi,
Remember
the
he was-
fine dining.
And he was earning $2 a month.
Yeah,
yeah,
And he
$7
got
a
up to
day.
$7 a day.
yeah.
Oh, he would probably drove a jacuzzi car home.
Yeah, probably. And
And
now,
then a different one on the way to work. You know,
Now
would have
he's
had a different jacuzzi car each day of the week.
Big wet car. That's
Yeah.
the dream. I dream of one day
Chug a big wet car.
making my fortune, slotting around town.
Walking around town. There he goes.
yeah, you take
Water
two,
everywhere.
too quick a turn and you empty the jacuzzi. Oops.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
spraying on, poor people.
Yeah.
Not call, they used to call it new money. They used to call him wet money. Oh, there he goes, wet money.
So from there, he managed to find another fireman job, but the new line he was on took him far away from home. His wife, Josephine, who's described in the Colonel biography as a quiet, moody woman, which really does not surprise me. The next sentence was, from the beginning, their marriage was often strained.
Because she was so quiet and so
They didn't
moody.
fucking
Yeah, it's on
know
her.
each other.
Yeah.
Come on, they'd met.
That was enough back then, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were looking forward to
Yeah.
seeing each other once.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually really romantic.
He'd never looked forward to seeing anyone before.
What's this strange feeling I've got right now?
I don't hate someone.
So despite never having met, they had their first child, Margaret, not long into the marriage in 1910.
So weird to have a child called Margaret.
What is that?
I don't know. It's a
People
call
call
it
Margaret?
Maggie?
yeah, but no children. They're all adults. Oh yeah, Maggie's a
Yeah.
Margaret. Oh my god,
Mr. Sheffield.
Mr. Sheffield had a
Mr.
Margaret.
Sheffield, Margaret.
Yeah.
To me, Margaret sounds like an older lady's name.
Yeah, Margaret.
Margaret.
Mr. Sheffield would say
Yeah,
that.
Maggie.
Oh my god, this has turned
Maggie
my world upside down.
Simpson. Marge Simpson.
Holy shit!
It goes all the way to the top. To Marge.
Marge.
But I mean, they were all born a long time ago.
Okay.
Even
So
Maggie.
were you.
Can you think of like a baby Matthew?
No, I also would say that's an old person's
Exactly.
name now.
Because you were old.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And?
That would be the same for. I could imagine young Becks,
Nah, there's no,
No
baby
young
Rebecca's.
Jessicas. young
No
Rebeccas.
Rebecca's.
Maybe not.
No young Jessicas.
Dave's out for the moment. I think
I'll be back.
you'll be back.
Oh yeah, it's a cycle.
It's all cyclical.
Yeah.
I want Harlan to come back.
Yeah, Harlan's sick.
I would love it.
I like
Clarence?
Wilbur. I like Wilbur.
I'm gonna name my
Wilbur,
first
Willie,
child
so
after
good.
all four of us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Go on. What's the name?
Jessica.
One. All merge into one.
No.
Oh.
Oh,
Jessica, David, Rebecca, Matthew.
Oh, in order of
like a password from
My
my computer.
favourites.
in order of your favourites.
Thank you so much.
Damn it.
And I don't like myself very much.
And it's downhill from there.
Oh, so they had their first child, Margaret, and then Harlan Jr. in 1912. And Harlan Sr., who was at that point 22, was away and writing letters home. When his letters weren't being returned, he began to grow suspicious. And it was then that he got a letter from his brother-in-law saying that Josephine had moved back home with her parents.
Took the kids.
Took
moved
the kids.
home.
And
Wait,
yeah.
what? She moved out of her home
She
by herself?
left, because she was like, well, you're not around, I'm getting out of here. And the brother-in-law said she had no business marrying a no good fellow like you who can't hold
Whoa,
a job.
Imagine
He's away
getting that.
on work.
Yeah.
What a letter to receive.
So he rushed back home.
That's a bit of a dick brother-in-law to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's a
Yeah.
Was that Dick?
No.
No,
Okay. Because that would have made sense.
that would have been great, yeah.
It could have been Dick, we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it might have been, yeah. It didn't say his name.
Oh,
He's
that
one
was
of the
Dick.
few that didn't say his name. Sanders rushed back home to find that Josephine and the kids had indeed left, and his wife had distributed their furniture among the neighbours. So it was from there in his autobiography. Now, this is where I feel like you may go
Turn
like,
on
oh,
him?
a little bit. He just really plainly says he thought up a plan to kidnap his children back.
Okay.
So I feel like that's like he's really matter of fact about
I
it.
don't really understand why she's left.
So she was alone and he was away and
So
he
just-
did get fired and was in fights.
So
at
just
work
go
a
back
lot.
to your parents' place, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Why are you fucking off all the furniture? That's just petty.
It
That's
is petty.
mean, isn't
That's
it?
true.
Because now he's got nowhere to sleep.
Yeah, if she was, it doesn't make any sense. Unless, like, he left her in a big financial hole and she had to sell it to make ends meet.
Yeah.
Then that could have been, like I said, this is all from
Yeah, it's all from
his
his
own words, so
perspective,
it's his
yeah.
perspective.
Yeah, his positive spin is that he wanted
Yes.
to kidnap his children.
Yes.
What was he really doing?
I want my kids back so I can leave them at home alone while I'm gone for long times at work.
Very strange behaviour. And he had a terrible plan.
I just wouldn't have used the word kidnap, I think.
Yeah, he said it a lot. And
I
he
want
said
to
it to another
reunite with my
biographer.
kids or something.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good dad.
Oh, you got to spin it.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It does show, like, he was very, I think it's clear from this, into working, into capitalism, into stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think the
Furniture.
idea that, yeah,
That's
he was
what
sad
really
about
annoyed
the
him.
furniture.
It wasn't the kids going
It
missing.
kind of, yeah. I mean, it kind of gets a bit sadder from here. So,
But it also sounds like his first instinct wasn't, I'm going to make this right.
no, it definitely wasn't.
I'm
that.
going to bring this family back
No.
together. The first thing was, I'm going to steal them kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to make it right and abduct these kids.
Yeah, I think you get a picture from all the KFC ads that maybe he was a bit jovial, but I think maybe he was a bit of a butthole.
He loves cricket, wearing a bucket on his head.
He loves being a cartoon. So he had a terrible plan of lying in the woods outside Josephine's parents' house. And at one point, a dog came by growling and circling around him suspicious, which, good dog, good instinct. And then Sanders gave up and instead went to talk things out with Josephine.
There we go. Communication.
So that's good. But it didn't seem to be going anywhere. So when Harlan went to leave and he said he was going to go to a new railroad job, Josephine insisted that he stay with her.
I've just realised, her surname was King, right?
Yeah.
Josephine King. That's joking. Can you believe these names in this story?
Wow.
Maybe this was all a prank.
Yeah.
She said, when I left, I was joking.
Yeah. And then I said,
Like-
April Fools.
It feels like he's like Kai's associated his whole story. He's just making up his names as he's telling his biographer. Probably not he would be his autobiographer.
It did sound like he did write the book because it was a lot of, it sounded like his voice.
Right.
But there is a biographer who wrote another book, The Colonel, which I've referred to. I refer to these two books a lot. And in The Colonel, there is a lot more like actual, he kind of was a bit of a butt. Like a lot of the
Yeah.
chapters end in him going, and then he did this thing, and it's like, uh-oh,
But
that's not good.
It sounds like what's happened here, though, is he went back. His big plan was to lie in the forest outside.
Yeah.
Then that didn't work. He went back to the house and she said, all right, I'll take you back.
It essentially was that.
Oh my God.
And the really sad thing about Josephine is that they were together for a long time, but in his autobiography, their relationship lasts only a further 3 sentences.
Yeah.
So Sanders says, so I did stay with her for 39 years, but her leaving me just because I lost a job had a cut-and effect when our love was young and tender. I guess I never really got over it. So after our children were raised and we had grandchildren, we were divorced.
Why?
Yeah.
I just
Why
waited.
go back there?
I waited a mere 39 years
Yeah,
and then I cut the cord.
I left her.
Well, I here's a little section that is, you know,
I treated her bad for 39 years.
well, I think this is important to talk about. Not very comedy podcast good, but it's probably worth noting that Sanders he wasn't a feminist ally.
What?
You'd never believe it. He wasn't.
Well, Beck, you might not know this, but I am.
I've heard
I am a
this few
feminist.
times.
Dave's the opposite of that. We sort of yin and yang it a little
That
bit.
part is not true.
I'm indifferent. I don't know about him. I don't trust him,
Mm.
They can,
but I think give them their own bank
Bet.
card or something.
You give him a go.
yeah,
Give them a go,
they
but
can do what they want. Just not near me.
just keep it down.
Jess.
I just find him a bit shrill.
Okay, Jess. But I think that women should have their own say.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to
Jess,
say.
I'm trying. I cannot believe this. This is me talking for women, Jess. Okay.
So, in a Slate article by Adam Chandler, there's evidence to suggest Colonel Sanders was a bit of a dog. A biographer, Josh Orzewski, wrote that Josephine did not maintain an intimate relationship with Harland.
Well, I mean,
no.
if she's not fucking him, then what's the point?
Well, that was it.
Know what I mean?
And Sanders apparently had a passionate and hot-blooded nature, which is a
Yuck.
terrible sentence to read, and that he found his pleasures elsewhere. His own daughter Margaret said in her biography that her father's expectations for intimacy with her mother seemed excessive.
Why the fuck?
Why did she know?
Why did she know that?
I know.
Yuck.
And then in the Colonel biography, an anonymous woman at the US Chamber of Commerce says she had to beat his hands off her every time she visited. So it doesn't paint a great picture.
Yeah. So
for
he's a
Harlan
big old
Sanders'
pervy
relationship with
horn
women.
dog.
He was.
Beat her hands off.
Yeah,
Jesus.
just going like, get off. It's gross. He was a grot.
Yuck. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
for your kid to be like, Dad was a freaking horn dog. And Mum was like, I'm trying to cook dinner.
That's what he was
Leave me
like
alone.
in front of the kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
so
So as a bit
You
of,
still haven't said any of the thing that people used to say at high school.
okay.
I feel like I know what it is, and I don't think it's true.
Yeah. Starts with K.
Yeah, it's not true.
Middle letter's K.
Yeah. Final letter.
Third letter is also K.
Yeah, that wasn't true.
I think it's just because it was
Yeah.
like KFC.
Yes. So there was rumors that KFC used to send a bunch of money
Yeah,
to the
it was-
KKK, but
yeah.
from what I've read, it wasn't.
Maybe
the
was
case.
that just a southeastern suburbs rumor going around our
No,
schools?
it's on Snipe. Like it's a
Right,
whole big
okay.
rumor that went around. So
Wow.
yeah, no, apparently not true. But
Well,
you know,
glad to hear it.
yes. So it was a bit of revenge for Josephine.
He's bad in other ways.
Yeah. I'm going to zip through the next few years of his life because it really focuses on his career, and he just had terrible behavior that had him bouncing from industry to industry. So his time on the railroad ended, not unlike his time painting carts when he was 12, except this time he was nearly 25 when he got into a fist fight with an engineer under a bridge, and he got fired.
Why did the engineer owe him 5 cents?
I think it was a dispute over something in particular, but the biographer John Ebb Pierce said that he just had a temper and he couldn't control it. He had self-confidence, brashness, defensiveness, feelings of inferiority, and they all just clashed.
What a beautiful combination.
Oh, wonderful. Like a delicious, you could put that on a chicken. This got him into trouble frequently, and it did at his next career turn as a lawyer. You know,
Sure.
where you'd expect him to end up.
Yep. That makes
Right,
sense.
it's a fancy law talking
Your
kind of
Honor,
guy.
that kind of vibe.
That kind of vibe. So he studied by correspondence on the railroads, and at that point, pretty much anyone could appear in court, and you could just find clients. And it went okay for a while until he got into an argument over money with a client. The client wanted the damages that he won. Sanders wanted his fee. And instead of talking this out, like in an episode of Law and Order, they instead got into a fist fight, like an episode of WWE. And even though that's already pretty bad, the fight didn't happen in like a private office. It happened in the courtroom,
Perfect.
surrounded by court officers and a justice of the peace. Not doing a good job. And Sanders said he grabbed a chair and was about to come down on him when 4 or 5 deputy sheriffs grabbed him.
Wow, that's
Good.
very WWE.
Yeah. He gave him the chair. He was arrested and he got charged with assault and battery, but he beat the charges. But strangely
With a
enough,
chair.
It beat them up.
but it destroyed his law career. You'd never believe it.
Oh, you could never be a fancy law talking guy.
Couldn't be a law.
What am I picturing? Where was it? Futurama? There was an actual rooster that was dressed up
And
like
that
Colonel
looks like
Sanders.
him. Yeah.
I'm not one of them fancy big city lawyers.
I wonder if that was a reference
Yeah.
to him being a
Bit
lawyer for a bit.
Yeah, I never got it, but I can't quite place where
That
it was.
is vaguely
Probably
familiar.
Futurama.
I think it was Futurama.
I get a lot of those jokes way later. I laugh at the time, so I don't look foolish.
Futurama.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Hyper chicken.
I mean, it was funny anyway. That's an extra layer.
It's nice to see a chicken practicing.
An
the
extra
law.
layer of
Oh my
crispy
God, it was a
skin.
chicken. Oh my god!
Oh
I'm
my
so
God.
oh no.
Is that what you're thinking of?
That does look like.
Yeah, but is that a chicken? But that is definitely his kind of suit.
It's called
Yeah.
hyper chicken, so I think so, yes.
And I'm pretty sure he talked in like a Kentucky sort of
Yeah.
accent.
It's like an alien chicken.
If you know if this is related at all to Colonel Sanders,
And it
write in.
doesn't look like it is. It is modelled on Jimmy Stewart's Academy Award nominated portrayal of lawyer Paul Beagler in Anatomy of Murder.
I should have known that one.
I
Mm.
think there's a few like sort of famous Southern type lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, like To Kill a Mockingbird and
Yeah.
that's true.
John Grisham novels and stuff like
What
that.
about Michael McConaughey in is it Mississippi Burning? What was he in?
Matthew McConaughey?
Yes. And then
His brother Michael?
and then Samuel L. Jackson's
Yes.
in it and he says, "Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell."
Yeah. Yep.
What movie was that?
Yeah. It's a movie.
Sounds like a good
It
one.
was a great movie.
Great movie. Very impactful movie.
Yeah, we watched it in school.
I'm gonna try and zip through this because there's so much that he did. So
Sorry, Beck.
Yeah.
We were talking about some bullshit there.
If you wouldn't mind not interrupting.
sorry, I'm so
you're,
sorry.
You're a guest on our podcast.
Do go on.
No, please,
No,
please,
Beck,
Beck,
please.
please do go on.
You do go on. You said that.
I said the thing. I was so excited. So he worked as a section hand in the railways, but then he got into the life insurance agency.
Oh, this feels good.
He became a salesman, and John M. Pierce, his biographer, said that he was not only a natural salesman, but a persistent one, which I feel like you can get from his overall vibe so far.
Yeah.
That he probably would be good at selling you stuff.
Yeah, just come on, please.
Come
It's
on.
wild how
Do
many
it.
jobs he's had, though. In totally different careers.
Well, guess what? He lost that job after he got into an argument over money at work and was fired.
Oh my God,
But
that-
he got another insurance job, so he actually didn't zip too far away.
a little bit of a pattern forming here.
Yeah, a little bit. But he grew tired of working in the insurance agency.
Sure.
So that's when he took the next natural career step on his path and became a ferry boat company owner.
That was a long pause. I'm like, that is quite a change.
Yeah.
To become a ferry boat.
Get on my back. Come on, let's do this. I'm a pretty good swimmer.
Toot toot.
I'm much cheaper than the real boat. Honestly.
You will get
Paddle
wet.
on his feet real
Yeah.
quick.
So he was a ferry
Ferry boat company owner.
owner.
Yes.
Was he a ferryman?
Sure.
Don't pay the ferryman. That would have got him in a lot of fights.
Oh my god, he loved Christopher.
Christopher.
So his company was made to rival an existing ferry called the Old Asthma, which I just like the name of that.
That's great.
And according to Sanders, it wheezed like she had asthma.
I don't think, are you trusting that boat?
I would trust. I mean, I was going to say I love asthma. I don't love asthma.
You have
I
asthma.
have asthma.
I'm on team asthma.
But you know what? It's a good time.
Yeah. I
get-
trust you.
You get great
Ventolin.
steroid drugs. Yeah.
Becatide's that still in? Oh, you would have loved Becatide. Is that your full name?
Rebecca Todd.
Becatide.
That is my full name, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was named after the asthma disease I have.
My name is Eczema.
Bit of name for a boy or girl.
That would actually be lovely.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful name. Speaking of names, he dropped a lot of money making his own ferry, and he was going to name it after his daughter Mildred. Wouldn't that have been nice? But instead, to help sell the stock in the company, he named it after a local funeral director, Froman M. Coots.
That's a nice boat.
There's pictures of the boat, and it just says Froman M. Coots
That's
on the
nice.
side.
So he's just gone to them and go, I need some cash to buy this thing. If you give me some money, I'll name it after you.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's
it's
free
like
He was a
advertising.
prominent businessman. People were like, "Oh, Froman,
that's like a
he's a
Kickstarter
cool guy."
campaign. You can name the boat.
Oh my
If you
god,
give in a certain
actually
amount of
is.
money.
That is pretty close to Boating McBoatface.
Froman
Froman M.
Coots.
Coots. And unlike his other ventures, this did not end in a fist fight. Instead, it was a success. The ferry went really well.
Great.
He was entering his early 30s and he was starting to feel like a businessman. He got asked to join the Rotary Club. And he was like, "Do you know what? I'm going to take a job in Columbus as a secretary of the Chamber of Commerce." But after a year, he admitted he didn't make a very good secretary. And bucking his career trend of fistfights or firings, he just quit.
Okay. Well, that's growth.
It is
Yeah.
growth.
You know, he's not fighting his way out of there.
Yeah.
He's just acknowledging maybe it's not to his strengths. That's nice.
That is nice.
I'm proud of Colonel.
I'm proud of Colonel.
I'm proud of Colonel.
I'm proud.
So where does a ferry boat company owner turned executive secretary turn next? To manufacturing and selling lamps.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all know that.
That makes
It's
sense.
the logical step.
Yeah.
They were like, I did look up how to say this, and now I've forgotten. Line. It's a lamp that used to be on the miners' helmets, one of those sorts of lamps.
Cool.
Right.
But unfortunately, what was happening at the time, rather than people going for these, people were going for electricity. This did not work. Electricity came along.
Right, so instead of eating your dinner with a torch in your head, you've now got lights. in your
Yeah,
house.
you now have lights in your house.
So he's
yeah.
timed that pretty poorly.
He timed it so poorly. So then, of course, Sanders made another logical career turn to working for the Michelin Tire Company
Oh, yes.
Fantastic.
He was the original Michelin man.
in Winchester, Kentucky, though. So what?
He's moving in the right
moving in the right
direction,
direction.
as far as I can tell.
Sort of. Oh, he's still got a while to go. And it was here where Sanders, in his autobiography, casually says the sentence, "Now about that bridge fallen out from under me."
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd drop that in casually.
Now about
Yeah.
that.
Now about that.
What does that mean?
His car one day, he was towing his son and they were going over a bridge.
Was his son in another car?
His car was, at the back.
Okay. Wasn't
Yes.
just dragging his son along the ground.
On a rope.
Teach you a lesson.
His son just needed to go somewhere, so just pulling him along on the road.
He's on a skateboard.
Yeah. So the bridge just fell out from under him. This rickety bridge fell out from under him. He landed, it says it landed front forward in some water in a creek. And he managed to crawl out. He refused to see the doctor in a classic dad accident fashion. His son didn't get hurt at all. He just hurt his thumb.
So he did get hurt.
Yes, he described the incident in his autobiography saying, "Oh, yeah, good point."
He didn't get hurt
I
at
thought
all.
he meant that Colonel got hurt, but no, he was injured.
He was injured. They were both
Yeah.
injured.
Yeah.
His son with a very sore thumb.
Terribly sore thumb.
Ow.
And when you think about it, you hurt your thumb, there's a lot of stuff you can't do.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Hail a
can't-
cab.
Try it. Yeah,
Oh.
can't hail a cab.
Hitchhike.
Can't give somebody a thumbs up.
Thumb war.
Yeah.
Can't thumb war.
Oh, no.
Can't thumb your nose at someone.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
You know, the authorities.
Yeah. So,
Or the man, if he's around.
yep. And I do. I thumb my nose at the man.
You do. Can't put your thumb in a pie.
Can't do that.
Like
Thumb-
that guy.
Thumb through the yellow pages.
Yeah.
Can't thumb through that. So Beck, I'm just feeling like you were being a little too casual there about the son's injuries. But
That's true, actually.
but-
I never realised how important thumbs are.
You can't measure how big Thumbelina is.
that's right. Yep. So
I'm running out here.
now
The list does go on.
I genuinely have been trying to think of one as you've been talking, so don't worry. I was like, I don't know what
got
thumbs. I
nothing.
can't think of what thumbs do. I'm holding things with my thumbs
well,
currently.
at first
Could
I was
not
like,
say it.
I don't think I'd be able to tie up my hair, but if I still had 4 other fingers, I reckon I'd find a way. You know,
Yeah.
you just adapt. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't be as comfortable, but if you didn't know any different, it'd be
I
fine.
slam my thumb into stuff a lot.
We can't
I
do
think
that
I would
anymore.
be a lot
Oh,
more.
no, you could still do that.
Yeah,
It still exists.
yeah. I'd be more aerodynamic without my thumbs.
You reckon life would be better without a thumb?
Yeah, if I was just going around swiping at things with 4 fingers.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to see? Shall we cut one off?
Dave
Let's
always
do it.
carries a meat cleaver.
Absolutely.
Chop me up, Dave.
Only take a second.
And then I would know how terrible the thumb injury was. That would teach me a lesson, actually.
Well, we've edited out Beck's screams, and now we're back. She is thumbless. Beck, please do go on.
Living my best life. So he described the incident in his autobiography saying, "The blood was gushing down over my face. I don't know if you want this in, but he could feel this loose hunk of scalp flopping around. So I picked it up, squeezed it down on top of my head, and held it there." So thank God he didn't call the doctor. That would be stupid.
He didn't call the doctor.
He didn't call the doctor.
Right. And
Just a bit of his head missing.
And that he put it back on
And
though.
that's when he just thought chicken.
He just put it back there like replacing a divot on the golf course.
Yeah.
Just hoping that it grows back. But those don't grow back.
No.
They end up, that's just like dead little bits of ground.
In saying that, his hair was pretty good. Like, he had red hair. I feel like a lot of people think he had
I thought
white
he
hair,
must
but
have
he had
because
red
of
hair.
the temperament he had. Whenever they talk about people being, I'm like, oh, I bet he's a redhead. You don't know what we're like. My sister dyed her hair red recently, and we were all joking. Oh, you're going to be fiery now, because me and my brother have red hair, and she's joined us. And yeah,
Was there a transformation?
you know, I've got a famously fiery way of life.
Yeah.
Do not cross this man.
The way you just laughed was like this little I'm so fiery.
Honestly, don't cross me.
Oh no.
If you owe me 5 cents, you better pay the piper.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll see you under that bridge.
You're the piper as well?
I'm also the piper.
And the
wow.
ferryman?
I am the ferryman.
And a troll under a bridge?
Yes.
And a redhead.
Uh-huh.
God.
You Colonel Sanders, look at all the jobs you got.
Yeah.
And Krista Berg?
I am Christa Berg, which is Chris the Berg in French. Or German or whatever that language is.
Or is it just someone going, duh?
But they're saying that in Germany.
Yeah. So he lost, unfortunately, he lost his job with Michelin because he didn't have a car. He couldn't drive. He caught the bus for his last sort of job and went 75 miles apparently to sell a bunch of tires, so that he ended with a good sale and he ended his employment.
Interesting, but he doesn't have a car, so it doesn't really sound like he'd believe in his product.
No.
When you say it, am I going to buy car tires off a man who doesn't even drive?
Hang on, wait a second. But he caught the bus. Think of how many tires that is. That's a lot of tires.
The wheels on the bus have tires that go around. Is that true?
Yeah.
I learned that on The Simpsons as
Can
well.
we check that on Snopes?
Yeah, I better check that. I think that's a conspiracy.
I don't know. So with no job, no car, and a body still aching from an accident, Sanders says he hitchhiked to Louisville to look for work, finding nothing. But on his way back hitchhiking, he was about to meet someone who would set him on a path that would one day lead to crispy chicken.
Chicken. He meets a chicken.
But
the chicken that crossed the road.
The chicken crossed the road, and he was like, "Get back here! What are you doing?
Is he
Why
the
are you
one-
doing that?"
You look delicious.
Is he the one with the thumb injury? How's he hitchhiking?
No,
No, his son
Oh,
had
that's
the
his son,
thumb
okay.
injury.
He had to
No.
leave his son behind.
Yeah, his whole body. He said he had black eyes, and he was still trying to sell tires.
Wow.
And his
Yeah.
scalp was flapping off?
Yeah.
Crikey.
It's a bit much.
But you could sort of signal people, maybe if his thumb was sore,
Yes.
because it might have been sore, he didn't say. You could sort
Right.
of flap it, the scalp.
Oh,
Sort
yeah.
of dip his lid.
Yeah.
Milady.
Disgusting.
What a disgusting group of
That's
people.
your brain.
So, according to his autobiography, a big Cadillac stopped and picked him up, and inside was the division manager of the Standard Oil Company of Kentucky. And it was on this trip back home that the manager, Mr. Gardner, asked Sanders if he could possibly operate a service station. Sanders replied and said, "I can do anything anybody else can do.
I've had 50,000 jobs.
I had 50,000 jobs. I punched everyone in the face
I've failed or quit all of them. I can do anything.
once, and then I will fail. But anyway, it's funny. The KFC website did have a video. There was like a PR video that was like, he's so full of failure. Look at him fail. Anyway, chicken, which I really liked. So a week later, Sanders was running a service station in Nicholasville, Kentucky. He went straight away. Zoom.
Wow.
And things were tough to start out, but then they were pretty good for a while. The business was going well. The kids and Josephine liked the town. And Sanders had also opened a parking garage close by. Now, according to biographer John Ed Pierce, the service station became a place people would come by just to chat to him. And he would always try to do something a bit extra, like wipe over their windshields. Like he was trying to make it a service station. He really wanted it to be a good experience for the customer. But of course, Sanders hadn't changed. He once got in an argument with someone who called his parking garage that he added onto his businesses a pig pen which ended in an inevitable fistfight. And in the Colonel biography, it's written about so flippantly, it goes, quote, Harlan grabbed a piece of concrete and hit the other man with it, breaking his leg. Whoa!
Jeez.
That didn't build goodwill. But in all, they were good years. End quote. Like, they just went, anyway, he broke a guy's leg
With a piece of concrete.
with a piece of concrete.
They were the good old days.
Mm.
And they didn't keep rolling forever, unfortunately.
Yeah, wow.
It was 1929.
Couldn't get away with that now, Beck.
I reckon you could. I could see you out on the street slamming into
legs.
people with a bit of concrete.
Well, that's me and my people. That's what we do. We're fiery.
So it was 1929. Sanders was nearly 40 years old, and the Roaring Twenties officially ended, and the US stock market crashed, taking Sanders' service station business with it. He was on the verge of going broke and looking for work again in the middle of the Great Depression.
Well, his wife's going to be unhappy.
Yes.
He hates it when he loses the job.
She's so quiet and moody.
So as he had done many times before, he made the very logical next career step
Here we go.
to working in a service station again.
Oh, that kind of
Imagine.
makes sense. Moving
He
sideways.
actually went, oh, do you know what?
I'm
Maybe
all right
I'll
at
keep
this.
with this.
Yeah.
He noticed that people always had to put petrol in their cars.
I've been
So
noticing
the
a little
business
thing.
wasn't an issue. So it was the location, he thought. So he got an offer from the Shell Oil Company.
It was the last location in the middle of a desert, nowhere near a road.
It kind of was in the
Right.
middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
They sent him there to try and fix it. And he did. He turned it around. So he got a reputation with the Shell Oil Company. And they were like, hey, man,
He's the fixer.
come fix up this one, which I think is interesting considering it closed down. I don't know if this part's true. This part sounds like, did you
PR.
get an offer or did you just get another job? And that's okay too, Harlan Sanders.
Just be honest with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all
Just
we
tell
ask.
us the truth.
But can you, your resume, this gap here.
What's going on here?
What's going on here? Where were you? So that's when he got an offer from the Shell Oil Company in Middlesboro, Kentucky. He claimed that they'd heard about him successfully turning the station around in Nicholasville and that they would build a station in Corbin, Kentucky and not charge him any rent. And he could just
Oh.
live there.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds like a good deal.
Yeah. I would live in a petrol station.
Yeah.
Would you live in... Oh, maybe
You
not,
love
actually.
snacks though, Beck.
Yeah.
So it'd be one of your dream locations.
If I could eat
They're full of
jerky,
snacks.
just sitting there eating jerky.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. Saying, hello, welcome to my service. I wouldn't ever sell the jerky to people.
Yeah.
I would be sitting there snacking.
That close sign would always be up. I'd always be operating in that night mode where you have to go to the little window.
Oh, it's a little box.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. You knock on my door, you tell me what you want.
Every time I do that, they can never hear what I'm saying either.
Yeah.
I'm like, sometimes I'm like, can I have an ice cream? They're like, yeah, sure. If I keep going to the same petrol station, the guy will go to the ice cream cabinet and like point at all the ice creams. I'm like, there is a better way to do this.
Yeah.
He'll hold up an ice cream from afar. I go, this one?
And you signal him. No.
No, still, no.
See, another reason you need a thumb? Up or down?
God.
Yeah.
I sometimes just go, yeah, I'll have a Magnum.
Yeah.
I can't deal
Whatever.
with this. I've got to stop buying all my food at the petrol station.
Late at night.
I'm just wandering
You've got to
around.
move in there, Beck.
I did genuinely the other day just go out to get M&Ms from the petrol station.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
I think that's
Did
fine.
you get
Okay.
M&Ms?
Yeah,
And you went out to get M&Ms because you felt like
I
M&Ms?
did feel like M&Ms.
So I think what happened was you wanted something, you went and you got it.
Far out.
I mean, that's a success story right there.
Thank you, everyone.
But if you lived there, you'd be home already.
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't want for M&Ms in my life.
Nah. Help yourself.
Far out.
Can you just help yourself if you...
I think so.
It's
Yeah.
a service station.
Self-service
You should-
station. Especially it's your service station.
Yeah.
Self-service station.
That sounds creepy.
Yeah, the
It's
way
like a
I said
wank
it. It was
station.
okay when you said it, Matt, and then I
Yeah,
made
Beck,
it
you
weird.
ruined
No,
it.
I didn't mean
You
to.
made it.
You were
made it
winking and tapping your nose.
You made it a wank station.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
No, it's not good. It's worth noting that it's here that Colonel Sanders' life begins for KFC, the brand. All the websites mark 1930 as the point, like the first point in the timeline. So it goes like, he left home at 13. And then in 1930, when he was 40 years old, so he was 40 years old, he'd lived all of these lives. But this is when his Kentucky Fried lifestyle began to emerge. Or perhaps it's just where it was like a commercially safe point for the brand to start talking about it.
Okay.
But don't worry, I'm going to wreck it right now. I'm going to wreck it. So customers started trickling into his service station. Sanders realized that it wasn't just their cars that needed filling up. it was also
Their butts.
Their butts. He started selling butt plugs
Yeah.
by the side of the road.
Fill them up.
Fill them up. Get them in there.
Now you were going to say their tummies.
I was going to say empty bellies.
Empty bellies.
The service station had a small room for storage, and after a trip to the hardware store and moving in an old family dining table and 6 chairs, suddenly Sanders had a small restaurant with a slightly limited capacity. Like it was like, 6 chairs. Yeah. And that was also his own family. So in his autobiography, Sanders says, we'd cook for the 5 of us and have it ready at 11 o'clock or thereabouts. If we had enough customers to use up the food, well and good. And we'd cook another meal for ourselves. If not, we'd make our meal out of what we'd prepared in the first place. So they made the food anyway.
Yeah, right.
People rocked up, they gave them food, or they made some more.
Yep.
So the small roadside eatery had a very varied clientele, from truck drivers to doctors, and according to biographer John Ed Pierce, Sanders ran the kitchen by himself with help from his daughters and Josephine when they were home, and it was a share plate style situation. So he served what Sanders called plain home cooking. And on the menu were country ham,
Oh, yeah.
gravy,
That's still there.
pot roast, mashed potatoes, don't know why I'm doing this,
I love it.
vegetables,
Yum.
and of course,
Dessert.
carrot, no, fried chicken.
Sounds like a Sunday roast.
It sounds really good. If I stopped at a petrol station and they were like, "Do you want this Sunday roast?" I go, "No, please, jerky and M&Ms for me."
Just gravy and a spoon for me, please. Or a straw. Whatever you got.
Well, apparently it was really good gravy. Like he really focused on it. Sanders was a very good cook. Like he was very tuned in to making it really
So
nice.
the name you said was in the kitchen by himself. That was him, was it?
What?
I thought you said Josephine Pierce
Oh,
was
sorry.
in there by themselves.
That was the biographer.
Oh, okay.
No. The biographer was writing about the thing happening.
Okay, sorry.
No, I added a lot of attributions in this because I was like, this is an essay for
of
my
course.
University degree.
But so
and
he's-
what if people think I'm plagiarizing?
He's the one who did all the cooking, though.
Yes, Sanders did all the cooking, and they helped when they were home. But also, this is him saying it, so maybe you don't know. But he could cook. He definitely could cook. So soon down the track, Sanders realised some people weren't even stopping for gas. They were coming in for the meal. So in recognising this shift in his business, Sanders changed his sign to say Sanders Cafe and Service Station.
Okay.
Because I think restaurant was more letters. I'd read that at one point.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember it. Restaurant was more letters, so he was like cafe. It was cheaper to put cafe.
Interesting. You think cafe, you think coffee? Or is that just me?
He did also serve coffee as
Okay,
well.
there you go.
So that's
also,
good.
that's just your Melbourne sensibilities. You know what I mean? We see cafe, we think cafe latte.
I see cafe. I'm like, get me in there.
Get me
Didn't have
in there.
anything to say
Yeah.
just then. Just said some words. and
Yeah,
kept
sometimes you
talking.
just got to start a sentence and
Yeah,
see where
I
it
was
goes.
like, and I think we went on an adventure.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Speaking of signs,
Oh.
Sanders' service station wasn't on the best stretch of road, and to combat this, he painted a large arrow on a concrete wall that said north to Lexington, and that also happened to lead traffic past his business. That sounded like a Wile E. Coyote situation, and it wasn't.
Does.
Yeah.
That's very fun.
But was it actually north to Lexington?
I think it was,
Okay.
but this ruffled the feathers of a competitor.
What? Was that one on? No. Chickens have feathers.
Oh my god!
Makes you think, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? It makes
you
me think of all the puns I missed, but I wrote ruffled the feathers.
No. I think you're nailing it.
I also
guess I just
accidental pun.
What'd you say?
I just do in general, and people are like, oh, and I'm like, what?
He pretends he's actually the pun king. So
No, I know he's the pun king. Yeah. He's lying to it.
Dave's the pun
He's
master,
trying to make me feel
and
the master.
I've tried and learn everything I can from him.
And I'm Jess.
So because this arrow diverted the traffic to his station, it diverted it away from his rival's own service station. And then according to his biographer, the man in charge of the service station wasn't a man to be messed with.
It's
Oh.
so funny that an arrow worked.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
like, well, we better
well,
follow
Guess
that
we're gonna
arrow.
go this- I mean, it would work for me.
Yeah.
Every time they put those, like the big truck with the arrow on the back that goes on like Eastlink and
Yeah.
CityLink, I'm like, where are we? Oh, we're going this way. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Truck.
All of a sudden, you're up at the Murray River going, how did that happen?
Trying to back
Followed a
backwards.
truck
I
arrow.
was just trying to get to work.
Yeah.
The man proved that he wasn't to be messed with by painting over Sanders' sign.
Oh, wow.
But Sanders, not to be trifled with, painted back over it.
Whoa.
And then he paid a visit to his competitor. And both of the men alleged that they were threatened in the process. And I think that definitely happened. I think they they're like, no, you threatened me. And then, no, you threatened me. I think that.
Yeah, go on. Threaten me again. I dare you.
It's a threat off.
So it all came to a head in May 1931 when Sanders got word his sign was being painted over again.
You son of a bitch, is what he said.
He did. Well, actually, he might have. So Sanders swore a lot. This is something I haven't brought up. He was like a sailor. He cursed so much.
Right. So that F
Like it was-
originally stood for something else.
Yeah.
Fisting. Just what he
Kentucky
always
fisting.
does. He's always fisting. Punch using his fist.
Yeah.
Kentucky fisting chicken.
Okay, when you say it like that, it sounds like it's not what I intended it to sound like.
Oh, boy. But it kind of fits more. Sanders, alongside a visiting Shell Oil District Manager, Robert Gibson, and a Shell Supervisor, H.G. Shelburne, they were just standing around one day and someone ran up and they were like, hey, your sign's getting painted over. So they all got out in the car to go confront his rival. And according to the Colonel biography, they caught the competitor in the midst of painting, with Sanders saying he yelled, well, you yellow dog. He definitely didn't.
Nah.
He said something real bad like, hey, you.
Oh my god. What's it gonna be?
I was going to do one that wasn't that. But then, wow. That's too much, actually.
That
That's
will be bleak.
I was just joking.
God.
I was
Oh my
joking. It was a
God.
joke on.
Oh my
Please.
goodness.
Can I get another take on it?
Well, I mean, I guess. Can we trust you?
I'm going to do it's going to be a clean one this
All
time.
right, here we go.
Hey, you.
God.
I said it again. I don't know why. I said it twice. I
Need to
don't
be
know.
bleeped
The
again.
problem is
bleep
if
it again.
we bleep it, it could sound like it's even worse.
I don't think it gets much worse than what she said.
Yeah, wow.
That was horrendous.
That's what the C stands for. Okay.
What a mess of a
And is the
company
F
name.
still
That's
fisting? Or
I
are
think
we
it is, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, it's
Oh, God.
off the rail. It's off the rails.
Yeah.
Hang on a
The
second.
K is kissing.
It's not better.
No,
I don't know.
People's yum,
True. True. Thank you.
especially when it comes to KFC.
Anyway, please, potty mouth, do go on.
I hope that'll all be bleeped
That'll
out.
all be
Yeah.
bleeped. Just bleep me for the next 10 minutes.
So do they go and sort out this sign painter?
Yes, so they all arrived. He was
Yep.
painting the sign. He jumped down from the ladder, and it was then that someone pulled a gun.
What?
5 shots rang out as Gibson, the district manager, fell. Shelburne fired upon the competitor with his own gun. Sanders said he grabbed Gibson's pistol and ran after the graffiti artist, but Sanders' competitor swears Sanders pulled his own gun out of his own pocket. But the police later concluded simply that everyone was armed. Everyone clearly had a gun.
Whoa.
Now hiding behind a retaining wall, Sanders' rival suddenly leapt towards the 2 armed men, and in response, Harlan Sanders fired his gun. The fellow petrol station owner fell to the ground and said, "Don't shoot, Sanders! You've killed me!" And that
Okay.
man, who was in a bitter rivalry over a big painted arrow and then shot by Colonel Sanders, well, that was no one other than Matt Stewart.
Oh my god.
Matt
Stewart.
Oh, Beck, why have you uncovered me?
We've had some incredible
here.
names on this episode, but that one is really
I've
stands
been
out.
running
This is a
from my
sting
past.
operation. The police are behind the door.
Oh,
This was an intervention.
Matt, what were you thinking when you yelled out, "Don't shoot, you've killed me"? Was that to save a bullet?
Yes. Well, as Beck said before, 5 shots rang out, and I was counting them. Okay, well, he's got one more, right? Because he's got a 6-shooter.
Right on. You're feeling
So I
lucky.
count him. So I'm saying, don't shoot because I know you've still got a bullet, right? But then he shot me, and I was just trying to stop him from doing that. You don't. I mean, I thought it was pretty plain what my strategy was there. I also thought I was dead. What happened was I thought I was dead, and I'm like, don't waste a bullet
Because I'm dead.
because I'm already dead.
Save your bullets.
Save your bullet.
For your next victim.
But it turns out I wasn't already dead. I was alive.
Is that true, Beck? Was this Matt Stewart alive?
Yes.
Oh, great.
So,
Yeah.
Matt explained this then. We got
I
it from
think
the-
it is. Yeah, it's probably not going to seem that clever to you, my new identity being the same name, but I'm trying to hide in plain sight.
Yeah, I've never
Who would
suspected.
suspect me being Matt
I never did.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I thought I knew you, Matt
I'm
Stewart.
still not sure.
Until today, Bec.
Get in here, police! It's a sting operation! Going to get you!
Freaking gotcha.
They're going to arrest you for being shot?
I've befriended Matt for, what, 15 years?
Yep.
Just to bring you down.
Oh, my God.
How dare you do this to
Busted.
the chicken man? How dare you paint that big arrow?
You even pretended to be vegetarian when we met.
Yeah. Lies. Lies, because I loved chicken.
You loved chicken all along.
Matt Stewart did not have a great amount of luck after this.
Oh. Well,
Unfortunately,
I know this.
the Shell Oil district manager was dead, and Matt Stewart was arrested for murder.
Oh.
The charges against Shelburne and Sanders were dismissed, and Matt Stewart, however, was sentenced to 18 years in prison. He was out on bond just 2 years later when he was shot and killed by police. Oh, hang on a second.
Does that sound fair to you
No.
that they had no... Look, it's a gunfight. They came at him. He was just painting a sign.
It's all a bit...
Surely if one of them had done something, they'd all done something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You sounded like a real Matt Stewart over there.
Yeah, well, I had to fake my own death after I got out of the big house, as we
become
used
a
to call it.
podcaster. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So Sanders had only just started to take out the competition. Though he doesn't do this again. Sorry, that made it sound like he's just like walking around going bang, bang, bang.
He goes on a killing spree.
Yep. Imagine if that is what happened and they really buried
Yeah.
all that underneath the cartoon Colonel Sanders.
Well, they buried it underneath the bodies.
With a growing reputation, he took the opportunity to take on the lease of a service station property across the road. And this was previously run by a man called Ansel McVeigh. I think you like that one too. Who was, according to Sanders, a nice fellow who had a pet pig and a puddle next to the service station for the pig to wallow in.
A puddle.
He just had a puddle for the pig, and he
Okay.
would apparently play a mandolin. This service station sounded
Haunted.
wild. Yeah.
And that was... A wallow is such a negative sounding word for what the pig's doing.
But the pig's having a good
You
time.
can go wallow over there
Yeah.
in your puddle.
Oh, sometimes it's nice to have a good wallow.
I really
wallow.
thought the two sides of the highway service station / fast food restaurant was a newish thing, you know, like in the last few handful of decades, but it's almost the original thing.
Yeah, I think it's just trucks. You gotta put some
Get 'em both
stuff in the
ways.
truck. Yes.
That's good stuff.
Is this pre-McDonald's, Jess?
I think
it is.
I think
isn't
it is. It
yeah,
is
I think it's
pre-McDonald's,
quite
I
a
think.
while pre.
I probably. Well,
I should know. I feel like sometimes I should know all of the fast food information.
Yeah.
We have done an episode on McDonald's
Yes.
before.
You did it on The Founder, right?
That feels like a real
Yeah.
50s thing to me.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas
That was
this is
years ago.
Yeah, that was like roller skating and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
no roller skates here.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm sorry,
I'm
everybody.
losing
No
interest.
roller skates today. So he did up the property across the road. He filled in the pig puddle.
Oh.
I'm sorry, there was no pig puddle.
He killed the pig.
He killed the pig. He
He
was like,
served the pig.
country ham. And then that was more space eventually where he opened up a real restaurant with 6 tables this time, and he called it the Sanders Cafe. And now the exact details are a little muddled here from source to source, but by 1937, Sanders not only had a restaurant and service station, but also had built a 17-room motel complex, and he called it Sanders Court. And he eventually opened another motel and cafe location in Asheville, a few hours away.
Huh. Okay.
And things were growing so much that Sanders started to hire employees, including his first waitress, Nell Ray. I don't know if that's a...
Nell Ray. That's
Nell
pretty
Ray,
good.
it sounds like one word almost.
Yeah, it's the two.
Lana Del Rey, you know?
Yeah, it needs more.
Yeah.
Nell Ray. No, I don't like it. Sorry, Nell.
Blana Nell Ray would have been better.
Thank you. That's better. Blana Nell Ray.
Blana.
Beautiful name
Beautiful
for a boy
name.
or girl.
Name tag says
Blana.
Blana.
Hi, I'm Blana. Can I take your order?
I'm Blana. I'll be your server for this evening.
Blana working.
Yes, Blana.
Blana's working in a bunch of KFCs. Oh my goodness. So one day, Nell Ray was sick and asked if her sister Claudia could take her place. And according to the Colonel biography, Claudia was calm, tough, and sensible, and was not put off by either the work or by Harlan's famed temper.
Okay.
So he wasn't a
Or
great
his
person to work for.
Hands.
Yeah. Well,
Fists.
that may not sound like a particularly romantic first description of a relationship, but Claudia and Sanders would be married a decade later.
Oh, wow.
Took his time this time around.
He did.
Yeah, it took time to get to know her.
Sort of, except I think there are a lot of, hints that they were messing about.
Yeah. Effing and
I said
jeffing.
that in the weirdest way. They were messing about. I put a shoulder into it.
Wallowing in the puddle.
They're
so to
wallowing
speak.
in the puddle. Poor Josephine.
Beck, they were fucking.
Yeah,
All
okay,
right.
good point. All right. I'll put the shoulder into it still.
They were fucking.
They were fucking. So, here's the thing you all want to know now. In 1935, Governor Ruby Laffoon.
Ruby
Laffoon.
Ruby Laffoon.
This has been the densest episode of great names we've ever had, I think.
Ruby Laffoon.
Ruby
Ruby
Laffoon,
Laffoon.
the governor of Kentucky,
That's incredible.
gave Harlan Sanders the title of Kentucky Colonel.
Okay.
There we
He's a
go.
Kentucky
So it's just like an
colonel.
honorary title.
It is an honorary title, and it kind of, it's like you're the best in the state, you're an ambassador of the state.
Right.
Sanders himself said in his autobiography that he didn't know how Laffoon evaluated his worth to the state, but I suppose it was because of my reputation for good food and service to the community.
Wow.
He didn't take it too seriously until much later.
See, he got it early on, really.
Yeah,
Just a
he
couple
was-
of restaurants at the time.
Yeah, I guess they, you probably have a few spots to fill.
Yeah. A few colonels to fill.
Yeah.
You got a quota of colonels for a
There
year.
should be colonels.
That sounds like
here.
it's
You
sort
gotta
of
hit
the
the-
equivalent of
the-
Moomba King and Queen.
Yeah,
Do you think?
yeah.
Yes.
Similar to that?
Yeah.
You got to hit the KPIs, the colonels. No. You try stuff,
Yeah. A lot of kernels in a cob. That one, I tried that. It didn't make any sense. That sounded like a fever dream. So in 1939, a fire ripped through Sanders' court.
What?
And Sanders almost considered not rebuilding the restaurant at all. But he said he had a revelation and thought to himself, you can sleep a man only once in 24 hours and you can feed him 3 times. Away with words he had. So with that, he built an 140-seat restaurant and decided he was all about the food business.
And then locked men in there for 24 hours.
24 hours and he was
Yeah,
like,
okay.
take these 3 meals, eat them, eat the chicken.
Like, true that
That's Southern hospitality.
like a night at a motel is only one night, sure, but it probably costs more than a meal.
Yeah, but you
Yes.
could charge more.
Yeah.
Charge the same as 3 meals.
At least 3 times more.
But I'm
Yeah.
not, I mean, I think in the end, this sounds like it worked out, but
Well, I don't know.
I don't know about his logic at the time. Well, I don't know yet either, but
Stop jumping ahead.
You don't know what happens.
You died in this story.
yeah.
You're dead.
I don't even know why you're still talking. You're dead. You're a ghost.
I faked it. Jeez.
And then Jess Perkins was there. And she, nah. I stopped the improv. I was like, nah, back to the
You
facts.
blocked yourself.
I did. No more fun. Because it was around 1940 that it said that Sanders perfected the 11 secret herbs and spices.
Whoa.
Wow. So he's 50 years old.
Yes.
Amazing.
And it's hard to verify any story about how the original recipe chicken was conceived because it's at this point, it's been told so many times. But it's been told in different ways. Everyone tells it different.
And it's a secret.
And it's a secret, so no one knows how it came to be anyway.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because all the records of it are like pss, 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 like that, and it's hard to make out what they're saying. Pss,
Yeah.
pss, pss,
You got to get real
salt,
close to the record.
pepper, pss, 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 paprika.
What are you doing?
It's just 3 of them.
You're destroying KFC. Corbin, Kentucky's website says that he made the recipe in his original Corbin kitchen, but of course they would. The Colonel biography says Sanders was introduced to a pressure cooker thanks to a local hardware shop that was trying to get a sale. And the pressure cooker was a big thing because it made it so he could cook it faster and it was crispier.
Oh.
Because he used to fry it just in a fry pan and it took a long time.
To get it real crisp.
Get a real crisp. It's worth mentioning the rumours that he stole the recipe from a black woman called Miss Childress, but Snopes have found no evidence to support the claim, but they did not believe the theory should be dismissed since it is plausible given the times.
Oh, yeah.
And evidence of plagiarism could have easily been scrubbed. So we don't know for sure, but they rule the theory as unproven. So it's not that it's
Yeah.
they just don't know.
They're not confirming or denying.
How do they talk about that much on the KFC website?
Yeah, they have a whole
Yeah,
section. Yeah, they really don't like to mention that at all, strangely.
Well, then
But it does feel like you're like that probably is the case because the Colonel's biography mentions that he developed the recipe from other people's recipes anyway.
Right.
And he says that he cooked a large order of chicken where he tweaked one final ingredient in his own recipe and then the chicken remained unchanged ever since.
Yeah, the last ingredient was chicken.
He just had herbs and spices.
It was just like deep frying herbs and spices, and he's like, it's missing something.
I would
Yeah.
love a clod of original recipe.
This tastes so good, but there's something missing.
It's so gritty.
It would go
And
with some
oily.
kind of protein. or
Yes.
something, I don't know.
What?
So originally it was just called Kentucky Fried.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a
What are you
big
frying?
gob.
What do you mean?
What?
What do you mean, what am I frying?
I fried Kentucky.
I'm
Yeah.
frying.
That's a
Idiot.
weird question.
And
People
then
are
a
dumb.
chicken accidentally walked into the deep fryer.
Across the road.
whoa.
Whoa.
Oh.
Oh. That's the chicken.
That's how
fry.
chicken. That's how KFC's made.
That chicken gave its life.
Yeah.
For us.
Chicken. Oh.
For flavour.
So there's also documentary footage where one of his daughters claimed that they threw all the spices together and they wrote the recipe above the door of the kitchen, and he was like, that's the recipe, so if anything happens to me you can look up there and that's the recipe. So like there's a whole lot of stories, but there was no denying that people were loving the fried chicken. The word was spreading, reviewers were reviewing it, people were saying
Positively?
positively. Yes, positively. 5 stars on Uber Eats.
Whoa, never see
You
that.
never see
Whoa.
that.
Never
Always
see
4.5, and then you're like, I don't think this place exists.
Yeah, but if it's like 4.5, but it has like 4,000 reviews, I'm like, hell yeah. You know what I mean?
But then I get suspicious if it's a lot of reviews. I'm like, who is reviewing?
Yeah,
This.
true.
I review every time. Like,
Just the
whenever it
stars.
pops up,
Just the star, yeah.
Oh, no, the ones where people write stuff.
Oh, yeah, I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I
That's,
don't know.
then I'm sus.
No, I'm so
Never written anything.
Don't even know how
Never
you do
written
that.
anything down.
No, you just go.
Yeah.
So that was you pressing a star button and making a noise. But I don't think it was clear to the podcast audience
No, I think it
or
was.
other people in the room. Oh, but Jess.
I got it.
Oh, but Jess.
Oh, but Jess. But it wasn't a smooth journey to KFC success. He lost his son Harlan Jr. in 1932 due to complications following getting his tonsils removed.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
So, yeah,
you're
like-
kidding.
Yeah, real bad way to go.
Unexpected.
He was only 20 years old, and in 1941, his Asheville location was closed due to the impacts of rationing during World War II. That's the right dates, yeah? Yeah, World War II. Edit out that laugh at World No, leave in the laugh about World War II. People need to know I'm a monster. He divorced his first wife, Josephine, in 1947, so it took a while. And then came the news that a new main highway was being built that would bypass Corbin. And that was where his first Sanders Court station was. So in Sanders' autobiography, he explains that he went from refusing a $164K offer on his Corbin location to a couple years down the track selling the place at auction for $75K. He used the money to pay off his debts, and he lamented in his autobiography, "Now I was 65 years old. I had my social security check to live on, and that was about all. And that wasn't very much. What was I to do?" So at 65 years old, we haven't got to the part where KFC exists.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's like, and so much of KFC law, they kind of ignore this whole section, whereas I thought it was quite interesting. I never knew all this stuff. And I was
No.
like, this is wild.
That's right, because, like, you know, when Ronald McDonald started the company, he was still like a youngish clown with a shock of red hair. Mm-hmm. Whereas KFC, all the logos and stuff is old man Colonel.
Yeah.
And that's because they really
It started then.
started then.
They
Yeah.
didn't have pictures of him young.
No.
Yeah. They didn't have photos back then.
No.
No. All of us look at each other.
When did they?
I think they did.
They did have
because I
photos,
think
yes.
there were photos in the autobiography. It was just a picture autobiography. I've made this report from the
It was
pictures.
a graphic novel.
It was a graphic novel, yeah. It was a comic. Okay, it was a TikTok. This was a TikTok. I've summarized it all.
I love TikTok.
So it was also at this point in the report that Bec realised she had been writing this report for so long and the KFC restaurants did not exist yet. So even though possibly this is the interesting part of the story for most people, and so very many things happened, this part's going to zip by a little quicker.
Okay, great.
All right, so back to the report. I'm also leaving out that he delivered babies. I'm just going to mention it here. That happened for a bit.
That was another job, career?
That was another job in the middle of all of
I
this.
don't like that. I don't think I trust him.
Baby chickens, though, Jess.
Oh, that's okay.
It was baby chickens, yeah.
He cracked some eggs.
Smash.
Baby chicken.
Baby chicken bone.
Is that what you think when you're cracking an egg? You just
That's part of the
Birthing a
reason I
chicken?
hate eggs.
right.
Yeah, they're pretty awful.
Oh.
Grow up.
I won't. How dare you?
A little before everything went so bad, Sanders met Pete Harmon, an owner of a small restaurant called the Dewdrop in Oh, it's a pun. I just read it out loud and got it. Dewdrop in.
Do drop in.
Oh, my goodness. That's amazing.
I didn't get it when you said it.
Dewdrop in.
Dave would have, Pun Master.
Pun
Master,
King
that's
obviously
true.
would have recognised.
I just wrote it down. Didn't take it
That's cute. I like
in.
that.
I like that too. In Salt Lake City. So they crossed paths a few times, and on the way to a conference at a Christian church in Australia,
What?
we're in the story now.
Fucking love it when we're in the story.
We're in the Kentucky Fried Chicken cinematic universe.
Yes.
Wow.
Because we exist in reality.
We're real.
He went to this conference hoping to be cured of his swearing.
Yeah.
It just
Stop
In
swearing.
Australia.
Just,
That's
yeah.
not the
in
place to
Australia.
do
No,
it.
I didn't think it was a good idea.
I mean, Beck's dropped a couple of C's today.
No, I would never say something like that. You don't know what I said behind the beep. He stopped off to visit Pete, and he insisted he make his Kentucky Fried Chicken for Pete's family. Pete regaled in his documentary footage that I watched. It was on YouTube, and it didn't say where it was from, but it's there. Pete regaled in documentary footage that it was the best meal he had ever eaten, but it also took until 10 p.m. to finish due to Sanders' perfectionism. He wanted to get everything right. He wanted this gravy that had like chicken crackle in it. He wanted it amazing. It was then that Sanders offered Pete the chance to buy the recipe,
Whoa.
Whoa.
Hang on.
but he didn't leap at the chance. And then the colonel was surprised. He was like, but this is a good opportunity.
Pete told him to fuck off.
He did.
It's
He
like,
did.
sorry, I've got a swearing problem. I'm so sorry.
I'm
Pete
so sorry.
really should have said, let's go on a business together, Colonel.
Well, that was the weirdest well I've ever done.
Wow.
Well, what? Well, what?
Well, that didn't happen. You'll never believe it. Sanders went away to brainstorm, coming up with this whole idea of Colonel Sanders' Kentucky Fried Chicken. He copyrighted the idea, the name, and his own picture. But it's worth noting here that there are conflicting reports that a sign writer who worked for Pete came up with Kentucky Fried Chicken and wrote it on a sign, but this is disputed by Sanders. So he went back to Pete, who then suggested Sanders franchise the cooking process to him, and he gave Sanders a few cents for every chicken sold. He gave him 4 cents. And then Pete was hugely successful. It tripled the sales in his restaurants by having this fried chicken there, and he was also credited, Pete, with creating the takeaway bucket as well, and putting everything in the takeaway bucket, and he said he would make it so it was really heavy, so it felt like you were getting a lot for what you were getting.
Just putting lead in the bottom of the bucket.
Enjoy that lead, boys.
Oh, this is so heavy and for only 99 cents.
Why put lead at the bottom of the bucket? Make the bucket out of lead.
Then you can use the bucket.
Perfect. So he was credited with that, and also apparently making the phrase finger licking good. But
Whoa.
Sanders also says he came up with that.
Okay.
So it's also disputed.
Sanders taking a lot of credit here.
He takes a lot of credit.
It would
for
have been
mostly
thumb
everything.
licking good, but
It felt a bit
Yeah.
insensitive
Yeah,
to his
it was,
dead son.
yeah. Or scalp licking good.
yeah,
But he
they,
had, that's the
They
most
ch-
disgusting
they
thing
went
I've
through
ever
a
said.
few options.
Cut that.
Does he still have a bit sort of flapping in the breeze?
Some say you can hear the wind whistling through it to this day.
That's why he puts
That's the worst thing that's ever happened.
Oh,
No.
Sorry, it's a bit windy in here.
Oh, God.
Bit of a draft.
So this was also when Sanders started developing the Kentucky Fried Chicken law. In 1949, he fully adopted the Colonel persona. He just suddenly went to wearing
full
a
Colonel.
white suit every day. Yeah. And through any season, just winter, summer, he was wearing that white suit. I think he had lighter, fabrics, but he was still wearing it. He bleached his hair. And initially, people around him thought he was joking. I like, when you
That's his
try a
wife.
new style, and then
Yeah.
they were like,
People
"Oh
were
no,
like, good
this
one."
is ha ha ha!" And they were like, "Oh wait, no, this is actually happening."
Did you get that, Dave, when you grew the beard?
People are like, you are. That's a good one.
That is a good
That is
bit.
funny stuff. And I say, yes, it is.
Thank you.
Playing the long game.
Did everyone else go through a hat phase?
Yeah.
I'm in it.
Oh shit, you're wearing a hat, but you are through.
I love a hat. I love the hat. I was just looking at this flyer over here. I'm wearing
The
a hat
same
there
hat.
too.
Is that the same hat?
Yeah.
Same hat. I
Did
got
you
lots
look
of hats.
down to look at your hat?
No, I was trying to. I was trying to.
Oh, you're looking
I was
up.
flashing the hat to
Right.
you.
Oh, yes. That's a great look at your hat.
We've lost our minds.
It's
hot in this room.
Yeah, did you go through a hat phase?
Yep.
It's not part of the thing. So in his autobiography, he said that he decided to use Colonel Sanders with Kentucky Fried Chicken so he should look the part. And now, with his social security check that he was getting because he didn't have a job at the time, his white suit, and chicken on the brain and in his heart.
It's easy to get on his brain because of the lifted lid.
Which sounds like what, Dave? So gross.
I reckon
no
20% of listeners right now are being repulsed.
That's turned off.
So Colonel Sanders set off to sell his franchising idea to many more restaurateurs. In the republished KFC autobiography / cookbook, Sanders said of this time, "And while I wasn't right with God, I remember praying to God Almighty. You've helped me in the past and I need your help now, God. And I promise you, if this idea of franchising works out, because of your blessing, you'll get your share." Which I think is an interesting prayer.
You cut God in.
He's trying to bribe God.
Okay.
Yeah, he
So
was-
it wasn't the KKK that he sent money to, it was...
The
God.
GGG.
It really was.
yeah, wow, that's quite different actually.
Yeah, it's different. He essentially got God on as like an unpaid creative director.
Silent partner.
Yeah, silent partner. Because it worked. It started to work slowly. Sanders signed up 5 restaurants in the first 2 years. And by 1960, the number had skyrocketed to 400 in the US and Canada.
Wow.
Every time he signed up a new franchisee, he would train the staff. He'd go in. He leased the pressure cooker and sent them the herbs and spices mix with uniform packaging so no one knew what it was, and he could control all of that and keep people on board. During a lot of time, he lived and worked out of his car, and his new wife, Claudia, travelled around with him, pitching to restaurants. But as more franchises signed up, eventually he had to drop his social security check because at one point he was using all the money he got and putting it back in the business, and still he had the social security check.
He has 400 restaurants and he's still getting the social security and living in his car.
The system works.
And that he put himself on a salary. The business continued to grow. By 1964, there were 900 locations, and according to encyclopedia.com, it was the largest fast food franchise in the US then.
Wow.
And then at age 73, Sanders' perfectionist spirits was struggling to keep up with just demand because he was doing everything sort of himself. He had workers
With 900 stores, you say?
he was like
Wow.
still working pretty hard.
If he's still training
work.
every new store.
I think he probably had some people helping, but I think he still was very into it
Yeah.
and very protective of the brand. But it was then that he sold Kentucky Fried Chicken for $2 million to a partnership of 2 Kentucky businessmen, John Y. Brown Jr. and Jack C. Macy.
Ah.
And he trusted them as good members of the community. There were some things that weren't included in the sale. I think he still held on to Canada for a bit.
Okay.
And Pete Harmon still held on to all of Utah.
Right.
So there was some, but they sold the.
So he sold it pretty cheap.
I mean, it's $2 million in what is it?
73, did you say?
Yeah, he was 73.
Oh, he was
and he
73.
was
So
born
63.
in 1890. He was 1963, $2 million.
Wow.
Let me find out what
I
that
think
is.
it's a bit.
But also, he's old now at this point.
Yeah.
$2 million's going to get you
through.
You're going to live very comfortably through the end of
Yeah,
your
for
life.
sure.
Well, don't worry. He's about to make much more money.
Perfect.
Really?
That's what I was worried about. I was hoping he would make more money.
Yes. You were worried. On the sale in his autobiography, he waxed that it was hard for me to let go of the business. I didn't ever think I'd really let it go, but the people who bought the management from me are organization types, and they have access to some very wonderful people with fine talents. In 2 years, these talented people have taken what was a $3 million corporation and have built it up to nearly $20 million.
Whoa!
Of course, they had a great product to sell. Of course, he'd say that. But it took organization to keep up that kind of pace. No one man could have done it, or 2 men either. So the deal wasn't just for the franchises. It also ensured that Sanders had a lifetime annual salary of, I think it was $40K. I've read a few different things, but I think it was $40K to continue as a director and ambassador. So he was still trucking. He was still going around. He appeared across the country, made a bunch of media appearances across TV, and in bit parts in movies. He popped up in movies sometimes.
So weird. It's so weird to think of him as a real person.
I know.
A lot of people didn't know he was real. I read a survey where people didn't think he actually existed because he's such an icon as just a little face
A
on
logo,
a bucket.
yeah.
2 million's about 20 million today.
Okay, so
Oh.
he was fine.
That's
You'd take
pretty
that.
alright. And I didn't even mention that he got the original line art drawing of himself and it cost $8,000. And he was like, oh, that was a lot at the time, but I think that was probably worth it.
Yeah.
It's helped make him recognizable today. So later in life, Colonel Sanders found great solace in the church.
Isn't it funny how if you pray and your life goes well, then you believe, but if it didn't, he'd be like,
Well, that was what
I
kept
don't
happening.
believe. Yeah, yeah.
Because he wasn't really, he was into swearing. He didn't really live by what his mother wanted him to live.
So he held up his end of the bargain.
He did, and he donated a lot of money to the church. So he paid God back for all that
there you go.
silent support. He wrote extensively in his autobiography about God, and it's very God-focused, and he made a very long TV appearance on a Christian station that I watched the other day, and he explained how a polyp on his colon was healed thanks to a minister's prayer. And it's not a good clip.
Wow, is it the
He describes in great detail what happened.
Colin Sanders.
There he is, the king.
I'm clapping that.
That's the king.
All right.
Don't be so humble, man. A good bit's a good bit.
So he became quite charitable with his money. He established the Colonel Harland Sanders Trust and Charitable Organisation. He donated to the church, the Salvos, the Boy Scouts, and many orphanages. He had a particular passion for caring for orphans. There were some things I found about him adopting orphans, but I couldn't find much else to back it up.
Wow.
In 1971, KFC was sold again to Hublin Inc. That's not how you say it, but that's how we're saying it.
Hublin.
Hublin. But that only upped the Colonel's pay packet. He earned upwards of $200K a year for commercials and personal appearances, according to the Washington Post. But the Colonel wasn't afraid to bite the hand that feeds him. And
So he was a living mascot. He was
Yeah.
really the
He just
the
used to
real
go around.
Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, and do ads. There's so many ads with him.
That's
You can
amazing.
watch years and years of him. But as he was also being this commercial person saying, like, how good's this thing, he really didn't like what KFC was doing with the chicken, and he wasn't afraid to say it. A New York Times piece even reported that he called the mashed potatoes wallpaper paste, the gravy sludge, and he was really angry about the coleslaw, saying, no carrots!
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So on KFC's innovations, he once said, I'm sorry I sold it back in 1964. It would have been smaller now, but a lot better. People see me up there doing commercials and they wonder how I could ever let such products bear my name. It's downright embarrassing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really turned on it.
Yeah. And he tried to start a new chain with his restaurant. He tried to start a new chain with his wife. I just called his wife a restaurant.
Yeah.
We've got to end. I'm getting there. It's almost done.
That's how much he loves her.
I mean, he loved his restaurant, I would argue, a lot more than the people around him. Which, yeah, he wasn't a cool dude. So he tried to start a new chain by opening a restaurant with his wife called the Colonel's Ladies Dinner House.
Colonel's Ladies.
With the original recipe chicken. Not surprisingly, Hublin took issue with this and they filed a formal lawsuit in 1973. In retaliation, he sued them, claiming they were no longer using his secret recipe and his name was suffering as a result. The case was settled out of court in Colonel Sanders' favour.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, but they did change the name of the restaurant to the Claudia Sanders Dinner House, and that rolls off the tongue. There were rumours that other locations were going to open, but they didn't. But they did serve the original recipe chicken. I think you can still go there now.
But no carrots.
No carrots.
It's so funny to be so upset about products they're making when the business is doing really well. People are obviously enjoying the food. And you're like, oh, you've ruined it.
And you're making $200K a year.
Yeah, you're fine.
You can just have a sleep, I
Yeah,
reckon.
shut up.
Speaking of, Sanders kept working throughout his entire life. In his autobiography, he said, a lot of people have said to me, why don't you retire? I tell them a man will rust out quicker than he'll wear out. He just wanted to keep
I
working.
don't understand that. But we don't have time to unpack it.
No, but he couldn't keep
Basically,
working.
if he keeps working, he'll live longer, I think.
Hang on a second.
You rust out if you sit dormant, but if you keep working, you won't wear out.
Does this sound...
It made sense to me, but
But you're as old as the wind.
I'm as old as the wind, and I just see eye to eye with this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Wait, what? I mean on matters of chicken.
And rust.
Even though you once had a shootout with him.
That's because we had too much in common.
Let
We
bygones
both
be
loved
bygones.
arrows, and we both had service stations.
But he couldn't keep working forever. In 1980, he was diagnosed with leukemia and he died of pneumonia 6 months later at 90 years old.
90.
Pretty
Wow.
big innings. In the end, Sanders had an estate of less than $1.5 million because he donated millions to charity. There was even, he said he didn't leave anything really to his family.
Nice.
Great
Fuck
guy.
those kids.
Yeah.
Great guy.
I think he left, there was a thing about a ring and a watch. But yeah, it
Very
was all
generous.
But
like,
he left. It's not like he gave it to bad things. He was giving it to orphanages and stuff.
yeah.
It sounds like he's sort of ended his life a bit more positively.
Yeah, I think probably
tried
he did
to.
that classic thing of, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. If there is a real God, I want them to bring me up into their place.
Redemption
Heaven.
arc.
That's what happens in church. His body was toured around to a few memorial services as people, state officials, his family, and the public paid their respects. The governor of Kentucky eulogized him as an American original. His body was laid to rest only a few miles from the... like the chicken? Is that why you're laughing?
American original
Original
recipe.
recipe.
Yeah, sorry.
He didn't really think too hard on that, did he?
Nah,
That would have been...
that would have been good.
Yeah. But it was an open casket. People could see him. I think he was buried in his suit.
He's wearing the suit.
That
Yep.
means they packed his ass with cotton. We know that to be true.
Yeah.
Really?
I
Yeah.
thought it would have been a better tribute to cremate him and then dust some chicken with his ashes. Don't you think?
Yeah, I agree.
I like dusting.
His body was laid to rest only a few miles from the small farm he was born on in Henryville, Indiana. He lives on still today through the artwork of KFC.
That's a
with-
twist.
Yep. Surprise. He's back. With many actors stepping into the role in ads. There was also a Lifetime movie presented by KFC starring Mario Lopez as Colonel Sanders called A Recipe for Seduction. Do you know about this?
Mario Lopez.
No, it's real. It's real. It exists.
A recipe for seduction.
Yeah.
What was it about?
It was about, he was Harlan Sanders,
a
and it was
porno.
like a romantic, like, he came in and he's like, oh no, here he comes.
He was
It's
sound
Harlan
like he was
Sanders.
not very romantic at all.
Yeah, Recipe for Seduction is a bit strange.
Recipe for sexual assault allegations, more like it.
I mean, really, if we look at the whole Colonel Sanders story, I don't think he was the best guy. But that hasn't stopped KFC from also pumping out things like a dating sim called I Love You, Colonel Sanders,
Wow.
which I played, and I didn't win.
Couldn't resist.
I couldn't get him. He didn't. He was
Hard
like an
to pin
anime
down.
Colonel Sanders. Not interested.
I'm sorry, Beck.
Thank you. So where better to end our tale of Colonel Sanders than with his closing words in his 1974 autobiography, Life as I Have Known It Has Been Finger-Lickin' Good.
That can't be real.
That is, I've read it. I've read the whole thing practically.
That can't be true.
I didn't want to say the name of the title, the book, until now because I thought it was so good.
So
It's
good.
incredible.
What a terrible and amazing.
That's really
So good as finger licking good.
So there it is. That's my story. And I pray to God Almighty, it will encourage you also to commit your life to Jesus. If you will, no matter what hard times you may go through, if you keep turning to Him, acknowledging Him, and honouring Him in all you do, He'll help you through it. But I hope instead you turn your life to the glories of fried chicken and all the secrets its herbs and spices might hold. And that is the end of the story of
Wow.
Colonel
beautiful.
Sanders.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Chicken.
Oh, beautiful.
Whoa.
Hen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Nah,
We did
it was worth
One
it.
last pun on the way
Bloody
out.
hell.
Beck, what a fantastic tale. If nothing else, I'm going to get Kentucky Fried Chicken on the way home as a tribute
Yeah.
to that man.
And I don't eat chicken, but I'll have some chippies.
Yeah.
Dave, if you get the coleslaw, please either pick out the carrot or add it in, depending on which one he likes.
Yeah,
more.
no carrots. Was that positive or anti-carrot? We'll never know.
Hard to say. But Beck, one more time. Tell us the name of your show and where people can catch you at the comedy festival.
It's called Merry. It's at Campari House. I'm there from March 27, and I don't think there will be anything about KFC in it, but maybe there
We'll
might
see.
be. You never know. Maybe I'll give you.
What's a Christmas lunch without a bit of finger licking?
Wow, Matt.
Sorry.
No, it was beautiful.
I was going to say chicken, but I said that instead.
It's because it's hot, and I talked for so long about Colonel Sanders.
I'm losing my mind. Well, that brings us to everyone's favourite section of the show. As we say goodbye to Beck, we say hello and thank you for your support,
We say hello?
Patreon supporters.
Oh, thank you. We also thank Beck. We say thank you to her as well.
No. We say goodbye, Beck. See you never. You will never, ever again see Bec Petraitis and I in the same room.
I was thinking about it.
Good to go out on top.
I reckon I've only ever had KFC once. Do you two eat it?
Not really. chippies.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, it is a KFC, and I don't eat chicken.
You don't eat C.
I was going to say that.
You don't eat C.
I don't eat C.
Well,
Well,
that's your loss.
I do eat C, and I also eat chicken. So, KFC for me, every now and then I get a craving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll eat
yeah.
it. I love it in the moment, and then afterwards, I always regret it.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So full on, so over the top. What would do you remember your one experience?
Yeah, it was a friend used to work there, and after we went to the pub sometimes, we'd go to his work that was closed, but there were people in there, and he'd go in and make us up some stuff.
Oh, nice.
He just made me up like a wrap. And yeah, it was pretty fun.
Just go into a closed KFC.
Yeah.
That
That's
sounds
cool.
like a dream.
You've got the in.
Yeah.
You know,
Love
the-
that.
So yeah, I can't remember if that was one time or multiple times, but yeah, it's a great late night snack.
But you reckon you've never ordered anything off the menu?
No, he just made me, it was basically just like salad and sauce in a
Yeah.
I'm
bit
okay
of
with
bread.
They should make that. This the KFC salad and sauce.
They do
That sounds good.
They do good chips.
Right.
Give them that.
Yeah,
for
their
sure.
chips are very, very good. Especially when they nail them, they are probably the best of the fast
But sometimes
food.
they're shithouse.
Yeah, if they're
You know what I
soggy
mean?
and
I feel like
cold.
Red Rooster chips can be fantastic.
I don't think I've ever had Red Rooster either.
Okay.
Although maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, we used to
Yeah,
do Red
right.
Rooster a lot.
As a kid, our special treat was McDonald's, I think.
Yeah.
But we're more like fish and chips or
Yep.
around the local fish and chip shop Friday nights. That was the treat.
My family would only do like McDonald's drive-through for chips or Sundays or like the 30-cent cones, 50-cent cones, $400 cones now. I don't know what they are. On like driving back from Ballarat, like seeing family, we'd get chippies and that was it.
Punch some cones. Great.
Yeah, some good stuff.
A bit of Ballarat culture.
Yeah.
Well, my favourite thing from the McDonald's menu is still the hotcakes. Big fan.
Love the hotcakes. Why are we talking McDonald's?
Sorry,
I
but
don't
back to KFC, I did for a while there, they had this thing called potato mashies, which are fried
What?
balls of mashed potato. they brought them out twice, and both times, for like a month or something. Loved them.
Okay, that sounds like not a bad idea.
Yeah, just like fried. It's like halfway between a chip and the outside of a chicken nugget wrapped around mashed
okay.
potato.
That almost sounds like an hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah.
That you might get at a wedding when someone's passing a
Yeah,
plate around.
it is kind
They're
of
probably
like
not passing the plate around.
pass the
Walking
plate.
the plate
Help
around.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like
Take one, pass it along.
a croquette filled with mashed potato.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
What are the rice ones?
Arancini.
Arancini. It's got a bit of an
Oh,
arancini
yes.
vibe about it.
Delicious.
I love an arancini.
Me too.
Why aren't they available in any of the fast food
KFC
restaurants?
arancini.
Oh,
I know we just had lunch, but I'm hungry.
One
Arancini.
bucket of arancini, please. Deep fried.
Yum yum.
that's good stuff.
Anyway, so this section of the show is where we thank some of our fantastic Patreon supporters. Without them, this show doesn't really exist. As of course, as well as all of our great listeners. We appreciate you all. But if you want to get involved, you can go to patreon.com/dogoonpod. Jess, what happens once they're there?
Well, you get to vote on topics that we're going to cover. You get to be a part of the most beautiful corner of the internet, our Facebook group, and also 3 bonus episodes per month.
Whoa.
Pretty exciting stuff.
And the back catalogue is sitting there. What are we got? 180 bonus
Something
episodes?
like that. It's a lot.
Yeah, that's more than I realised. That's a lot of bonuses.
I may have just lied, but it's
No,
definitely
it is up there.
I think it's at least 60.
160.
Okay, even more. But the first thing we like to do is thank the people who have signed up on our Sydney Scheinberg level.
Mm-hmm.
I think this section has a little jingle. Go something like this.
Fact, quote, or question.
Widget the World Watcher. Ding. Always remembers the ding. Always remembers the sing.
And you always remember the wedge.
The witch. So in this one, people on that level get to give us a fact, a quote, or a question, or a brag, or a suggestion, or really whatever they like. I read them out for the first time on the air. Haven't read it yet. These aren't what do you call it in TV world? Pre-scanned or whatever?
Screened.
Pre-screened. No
we
pre-screening
ain't
has been
pre-screening.
involved.
We've got no producer working here. We're doing it ourselves. This is a 2-bit operation.
So first up, I'd love
Is it a 2-person operation?
2-bit.
Oh, God, hell.
Sorry, it's a 1-person operation plus Matt and Jess. All right, here he is.
That's not far from the truth.
So the first one comes from Amelia, I'd argue I do most of the work for this section, and
Yes,
Amelia
Jess and Dave, absolutely.
has given themselves the title of Official Website Quality Assurance Tester, aka the dummy who somehow managed to subscribe via the website, even though sign-ups there have been shut down and it's not actually meant to be possible. Sorry
Wow.
about that.
Was
is
impressive.
incredible.
That
That's
was
really
impressive.
For a while there, you could subscribe directly to us through our website, dogoonpod.com, but it was easier to have it all in one place, so we put it back on patreon.com/dogoonpod, and somehow the firewall was down.
Amelia found the backdoor
Yeah,
entry.
still signed up, and we appreciate that perseverance.
Yeah. Don't feel embarrassed. You fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
that.
I was like, we love
We're
a heist
impressed.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like a crypto heist.
Exactly. Who knows what's
Am I saying that right,
I
Jess?
don't know. We don't understand how computers work.
No, but I'm sure we've closed the back door to some international governments who are definitely going to hack into our website.
Oh, yeah. So Amelia, the crypto hacker, is offering us a fact writing, "Hello, I love the show and have started going through all the past episodes that I didn't get around to listening to yet. I just listened to the one you did way back in 2020 about the Lithuania versus USA Dream Team basketball game at the 1992 Olympics."
Fantastic. Recorded live from my grandfather's house.
That's
right.
right. I think we also recorded the Michael Jackson and Bubbles Primates
Yes.
episode there.
What a day.
What a day. I know the episode was so long ago, but I wanted to share an additional, hopefully fun, anecdote about this story that I have a personal connection to.
Whoa!
I'm listening.
You played on the team?
Oh my gosh. Sabonis?
Amelia continues. "I'm Australian, but I live in Los Angeles with my husband who is from Portland, Oregon. My husband's family are big fans of both basketball and the Grateful Dead, so I was telling them about this story he covered. This prompted my father-in-law to share a story of his own, specifically about the Grateful Dead part, and how the Lithuanian team got introduced to them and ended up with tie-dyed Grateful Dead uniforms. Here is what he said. Pretend you're hearing this part directly from my father-in-law
Okay.
now. Should I put on an American
I
accent?
think so.
Okay.
Specifically from Oregon.
Portland.
Oregon. Okay. A friend of mine is from Lithuania.
So offensive to your father-in-law, Amelia. I'm so sorry.
At the time, he wanted to help fundraise for the Lithuanian Olympic team.
Right.
He was friends with Arvydas Sabonis and Saranas
There you go.
Markalonis. My friend helped put the whole thing together with another Lithuanian friend of his.
Together.
They were the ones who reached out to the Grateful Dead, as he knew someone that worked for them. They had the tie-dyed shirts, made and raised a bunch of money for the team, in addition to help fund their travels to Barcelona.
Oh my God. Yep.
We donated to the
keeps
fundraiser,
going.
I appreciate the commitment. So good.
and my friend gave me one of the t-shirts he had made. I
T-shirts.
think I still have it,
Kermit.
unless it's in storage. Kermit's from Portland. So there you have it.
Wow.
I
So
thought-
one of the original t-shirts might still be in possession of the father-in-law.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's
you
awesome.
got to get him to track it down,
We'd
Amelia.
love
Get a
to
photo.
see a photo of him wearing it.
So there you have it. I thought that was pretty cool. My husband and his siblings all have distinct memories of the t-shirt growing up.
Oh, it definitely stands out.
My sister-in-law once wore it to a Halloween party when she dressed up as a hippie. This should be in a museum.
Yeah.
Hope you guys get a kick out of this. Oh, I'd say I did.
Oh,
Loved
yeah.
it.
I really enjoyed listening to the episode and talking about it with my in-laws. Love you guys. Love you too, Amelia.
Oh, I love that we've prompted a family chat.
Isn't that nice?
Love a family chat.
How not? And a positive one.
Yeah. And not, we've brought you here for an intervention.
Thank
Every
you very
time I
much,
see my family.
Amelia. This next one comes from you being intervened or intervening your dad. Squire.
Squire. Dad, you got to stop calling everybody Squire. Just learn their names.
Next one comes from Ralph Wolf, aka second in command of 69 Sex Street, Puss City, Austria. I think that's a callback to something. I can't remember what.
I don't know. It still makes me laugh. Without context, can we hear the address one more time, please? Ralph lives at
69 Sex Street, Puss City, Austria.
City.
I think it might be referencing something you said, Dave.
Oh,
maybe.
that's why I find it so funny. Because I only find my own humour funny.
And Ralph Ralph Wolf is asking this question.
Okay.
Who is your favourite dog? Who?
Who is our favourite dog?
Was that meant to be the who? Who?
Oh,
I really
tell
want
me
to know.
who is your favourite dog?
Who Who is your favorite dog? Who? Do you think, or were you going with a different
I was
tune?
wondering if it was
Who let the dogs
out.
Who?
I'm not sure.
No,
though.
honestly, I think yours makes way more sense.
Yeah, yours is dumb.
Well, you can write all hate mail to
I'm
my address, 69 Sex Street,
I'm confident. Puss City?
Puss City.
I'm confident I know your answers, but I'd love to hear them all the same.
Do you? What do you think my answer is?
I would assume yours is Goose.
Incorrect. Mine is Pickles, the dog from
Oh
that.
my gosh, from the World Cup trophy heist.
Yeah, that's my favourite dog. Sorry, Goose, if you're listening, but lift your fucking game.
Right.
Save a day or two, mate.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Caught him the other day, gave him this little bone that's made of like peanut butter. It's the heart. Anyway, he's eaten 90% of it, takes the end of it and goes and tries to hide it in his bed. And I'm like, hey, dickhead, I'm watching you.
Come
The
on.
dog's a fucking
Come
idiot.
on.
Goose.
Saving it for later. Mate, I'll just put it away for you. Come on. You know what I mean?
Wow. So pickles for Jess?
Yep, Dave, your answer?
For me, what were you going to guess my answer was, Matt?
I was going to assume Humphrey.
Oh, wow. He's made the top two, which is great. But number one is, of course,
Goose.
from the Philippines, Chowder the bear dog that I follow on Instagram, and he's a chow chow.
Yes.
I love this dog.
Okay, here's something.
I love this dog.
Here's something I learnt recently. I have not verified this, but my friend has a chow chow and said that teddy bears are based off the face of chow chows. And when you look at a chow chow after that, you're like, that's a fucking
That
teddy
makes
bear.
sense.
That's
That makes
very
sense.
great.
My dad's a big fan of chow chows.
Love 'em.
That is a living teddy bear.
We had a gold one and then a black one growing up because dad absolutely loves them.
They're the best.
I love this dog. No, Humphrey is number one, but Chowder the bear dog is number
Chowder
two.
the
Great
too.
call. Great call.
I'd say it's hard to limit mine to one. I'd say my favorite dog. Am I allowed to have more than one? If I could have more than one, I'm going to go with a pack of wild dogs that ran the 1904 Marathon Olympian off course.
Yes.
I love those dogs too.
I love those damn dogs.
Those pesky little mutts.
That broke you.
Oh, yes. So good. And you edited most of it out, I think, Dave. You thought people wouldn't be able to handle it. Or,
It was me.
oh, you did, yeah.
No, there's still like there's over a minute of you losing it in there. I cut it down.
It was Len Tao was run off
Hey,
course.
there you go.
Len Tao.
But yeah, I think the Golden Shiny Gary Awards episode from that year, it happened again.
Yes. It
It's
did.
happening again.
You were reminded.
Yeah, but I think I'm feeling actually right on the edge of it now, and I'm just trying to. Honestly, my face is starting to get a bit. Oh, no. Here we go.
Len Tao.
She's just trying to run a marathon.
Pack of wild dogs.
And a
Yeah.
pack of dogs.
No.
Right onto the course.
Len Tao chased off course. He could have won.
I think I've got it just in control, but man, I feel like I'm pinging all of a sudden.
Those dogs ruined him.
Oh my god, all sorts of endorphins are going off
He was
right now.
beaten
Those-
by a man who ate some apples that made him feel sick, and he had to have a little nap. And a
So
guy
funny.
wearing, I think, business shoes.
How do you remember
That's
this
right.
so detailed?
And he had to cut off his business
'cause
pants.
Yeah, he was only had a,
And he was wearing a beret, I think.
Yeah, was he a Cuban man? He only had a suit, and he was in the marathon, so he had to sort of cut his outfit.
Was it
down.
a bonus episode or was it a
It's a bonus episode. Yeah.
right?
It's a bonus episode, but yeah, that was only revealed at the end. What were we talking about? Oh man,
Dogs.
Yes, so
Dogs.
that's my answer. Thank you very
Great
much,
answer.
Ralph.
Does
Thanks,
Ralph
Ralph.
answer their own question?
Ralph doesn't.
Ralph, you got to tell us. What's your favorite dog?
But I can't help but feel that Ralph Wolf might be one of the Patreon's dogs, and that's so maybe Ralph is his own favorite dog.
That's good.
Oh,
A dog
gotcha.
should be their own favorite dog. I don't think Goose knows other dogs exist. He sees them, but he doesn't know what they are.
He sees them.
Oh,
but
really?
does he-
Humphrey's obsessed with them, but do you think that maybe they don't realize that they're also a dog?
They seem to recognize their own breed. They're pretty breedist.
Right.
So maybe they think other dogs are just like weird looking humans or something.
Ah.
You know?
Yeah.
The next one comes from Chris Torres, aka official North Carolinian, living in Ohio with family in Gary, Indiana of the
Whoa.
podcast. Holy shit.
Well, that's
Whoa!
the big
What is
three
your
together
life?
at last.
That can't be true. But if it is, oh my God, Chris Torres. Can I meet you? And Chris writes, a fact here.
Yep.
Hey, gang. Several months ago, I wrote in to try and update you on North Carolina facts and dethrone the blue fire trucks thing. Last time I tried to use the Venus flytraps are native to North Carolina. Oh my God.
I've
and he
thought
says,
about that. That's
but that
so
doesn't
cool.
seem to stick. That didn't seem to stick. And I
I've
I've
completely
forgotten all about it. Otherwise, that's great. Venus flytraps are... I'm going to try and remember that.
Yeah.
So here's another fact for you to try on.
Okay.
The first real mini golf course was built in North Carolina.
No,
That's
Okay.
cool.
That's
Come
not
on.
staying in my
Mini
head.
golf is so fun. You went for it.
Now we're
That's
talking.
not staying in my head.
That might.
Nice try, Chris.
Although the idea of mini golf was invented at least as early as 1912, Thistle Dew was the first standardized mini golf course built in 1916 in Pinehurst, North Carolina, a town famous for golf.
No.
The name is a pun, as I'm sure Matt already noticed. I did not.
Pinehurst.
I think Thistle Do. Oh, this will do. I get it.
Thistle. Sorry, I was really trying with Pinehurst. I don't get it.
So, yeah, this'll do. Bit of fun there. Which indicates the original purpose of mini golf. If you can't play real golf, this'll do. Hopefully,
good.
this fact'll do too.
Yep, I reckon it will. That'll be in my head forever.
You'll like this, Dave. Chris signs off by saying, thanks, guys. Books forever.
Thank you so much.
Just another cross against you for me, Chris.
Yeah, Jess is most hated of all podcasts.
I'm not going to remember that dog shit fact. And I hate book cheat.
Yeah, you do.
So,
Well.
nice try. Try again next time.
2 truths and a lie there. She does hate book cheat.
She will remember that fact. Yeah.
I don't hate book cheat. I love it.
The final one this week for Fat Quarter Question comes from Daniel Headley, aka Chief Poop Deck Swabber of the SS Do Go On.
Well, that's an important role. And we
Okay.
thank you for your service.
This has been building up.
If you don't know what the SS Do Go On is, Daniel
barge.
describes it as a pod barge.
It's a barge.
A barge. And Daniel asked a question writing, because I convinced myself I hated certain foods, it turns out I love, like mushrooms, sprouts, hot sauce, etc. For the first 20-odd years of my life, I'm willing to try anything once now. What is the most disgusting thing you have eaten or would eat? Daniel answers the question here. Do you want me to read on?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
The craziest thing I ate was a Carolina Reaper pepper.
Whoa.
But I'd love to try cockroaches, scorpions, crickets, or something one day. Anyway, I love the pod. Cheers.
We would
Uru.
love to try those.
Love to.
I can't think of like gross things. I mean, here's the problem: is that I don't know how to explain it. It's not that I'm a fussy eater. It's that I seem to dislike more foods than the average person. Well, I'll try something and I want to like it and I don't like it
Right.
And how is that not being a fussy eater?
because it's not through me not being willing to try things. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's not me being like, I don't like it before I've even tried it. I want to.
You try it, and then you'll say,
I want to like
and then
it.
you'll say, I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I assume that's what fussy eaters do as well. Like you reckon they usually
I just don't want to call myself
it.
a fussy eater.
Okay.
Can we just?
I think the fussiest thing I do, and it's hurt us as an eating group recently. If I'm grossed out by the name of a place,
Yeah.
I struggle to eat there. Like there's a place called the Bearded Sandwich,
Bearded Jaffle. They do jaffles.
which and
the
you both
menu
said
looks-
they were great.
And they
Menu
were
looks
good.
fantastic.
But
I
you
just
had to
couldn't-
order something separate.
I couldn't get the image out of my head of the beard in the food, and
Yeah.
I don't know why. Or there's another place around here. It looks like it does great food called the Blue Stool.
Yeah.
That's next level.
It's not like what? It's just a chair.
No, but why do you got to run that by a friend
Yeah.
before you register the name.
Have either of you eaten anything gross?
One thing that comes to mind is it's not gross, but I missed out on it for the first like 16 or 17 years of my life. Is I thought baked beans looked gross.
Right.
And
They
then-
do look a bit gross.
Yeah, and then I tried them, and now I love them.
Yeah, you love a baked bean.
I love them. So I missed out on that for a long, long time.
I was exactly the same. I'm like the sweet, savory beans. It's
But they're
weird.
also like wet in a can. It just
Yeah,
seems a bit
yeah.
gross. But then I think I was at a friend's house and they had them for breakfast with their family or something. I'm like, oh, I better be polite and eat it. And I'm like, oh my God.
This is changing my life.
Yeah, change everything. But I don't really, like gross stuff. I would never eat about bugs or.
Nah.
I would if it was on like there was a money involved. But
I
otherwise,
still
I would
wouldn't.
never choose to.
Yeah.
But if it was on like some sort of a dare show,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like the one with that guy from the podcast.
Yeah. So
Fear
true.
factor.
Makes you
but,
think.
the guy from the podcast.
What's his name?
I don't know.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
I don't know.
But if you put it, having said that, if you put it in pie form, I would probably eat nearly everything. Like I've had haggis pie and camel pie, stuff like that.
Okay.
But I wouldn't eat a slab of camel probably. But you put it in the pie and I go, okay, I'm listening.
I think it's also if I'm in a faraway place or a unique place to me, and there's a specialty there, I'd try that probably.
Yep.
Because it just feels like it's part of the traveling experience, experiencing other cultures and foods and stuff.
Yeah,
maybe.
for sure.
Even if it's cockroaches.
If that's
Especially if it's cockroaches.
if that's a delicacy somewhere, I reckon probably
It is at Nick Cage's house.
he loves it.
I remember that.
Nicolas Cage.
Oh, he ate, yes. yes.
He had 2 shots at eating
I
live
do remember
cockroach.
that, yes. Disgusting.
Bob, on recent Primates, Dave and I decided we're going to do a trilogy episode spin-off on Primates of the 3 big Nicolas Cage movies.
Great.
And it's going to be called something like Despite All My Rage, I'm Still a Fan of Nicolas Cage.
Love that.
Which is, I think it's catchy and
Yes.
it's short.
Yes. And that's
Yep.
what you want in a podcast title.
Yeah.
It's not clunky. You're very welcome to join us.
I'm busy.
Fair enough. We thought you would be. We thought you would be.
I didn't even waste my time asking the
Feel
question.
free to watch the movies at home and enjoy yourself.
I did
anyway,
watch Con Air.
which I was very impressed by.
I loved it.
Sigh.
Anara. Fucking hell, it's good stuff.
That's good.
Such
I'm going to
good
save the fucking day.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, it's good.
I think Vegemite's another one for me. I had it once as a kid and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Now I love it. And coffee is the same. I had that once as a kid and hated it. Now
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Right. So we should be trying things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, I did try them as a kid, but you know,
Not
you
for
can
me.
update your taste buds.
Yeah, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
you're-
As
your
they
taste buds
die
do.
off, you need more full-on flavors to make you feel alive.
I didn't like avocado for a long time. And then I did. I
Weird
wasn't even
texture.
that big on cheese.
Oh, yeah.
I was definitely the same with blue cheese.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that seems gross. Now it seems everything.
Yeah, right.
Gross.
Yeah.
And other stuff.
And
A
beautiful.
hard blue, I'm in. But if it's a soft blue
Creamy
stool-
blue?
creamy blue
A
stool.
creamy
then-
blue stool.
What's wrong with this one? I updated the name. Oh, fucking hell. Got to get a new website now.
It's a creamy blue stool.
creamybluestool.com.
Come eat at creamy blue stool. Ugh,
I will not.
I will not. Thank you, though. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Sorry we didn't have the best answer to that question there. I don't think we've
I won't eat
eaten anything gross, but
Yeah,
I wish
can't
you well.
remember.
I'm a basic bitch.
But I wish you well. Classic Dave
I
line.
wish I will.
And the next thing we like to do is thank a few of our other fantastic Patreon supporters. Jess, you normally have a bit of a game based on the topic.
I do. What could we do?
Could be their
this-
restaurant name,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
or it could be
Because
their.
didn't he just name the cafe after himself? It was a cafe.
Yes, well, I mean the KFC,
Yeah.
version, or it could also be what the Kentucky governor gave them as a title. You know, because the
Oh, do we want title or name their restaurant? Dave, you get to choose.
oh. So what was his restaurant called again? Do we remember?
KFC.
No, but it was a.
There was one. It was called
like Roadhouse 69 or something.
Sexville.
Puss
Down.
down. Puss down.
For that, should we go with the title then?
Yeah, let's go for a title.
Great.
An honorary title.
Honorary title. Well, he's the colonel. And you're right, Matt. On the episode, you mentioned that Tom Parker, Elvis's manager, may have had a similar thing.
Yeah.
And I looked it up after we recorded, and that is correct, given the honorary title. So also not a colonel.
So yeah, we're gonna name we're gonna give him a title. Love that.
Yep.
All right, Bob, do you want to do the first one as I read out from Torquay in Great Britain in Devon, where they do scones right? It's Gareth Jones.
Gareth Jones is the captain.
Oh, Captain Gareth
Ooh.
Jones. And I really appreciate your work, Captain
Matt's
Gareth.
saluting to you. Sorry, I just realised he's doing that. And it's a podcast.
Gareth, and I should say any other Patreon supporters who feel like they've been missed in the shout-outs, feel free to DM me on the Patreon site, because some people have slipped through, like Gareth. He should have been shouted out about a year ago.
Oh, no,
So very
Gareth!
patiently been waiting. And he says that over dinner, he sits down and listens with his partner to the Patreon section. Listen out for it. So I hope you're having a brilliant meal. And I'm so sorry now that I realised.
I'm having a lovely KFC meal.
They just listened to the Patreon section?
I think maybe he saves that to listen to with
Oh.
his partner.
That's very sweet.
Yeah.
That's very
It
nice.
genuinely is their favourite section.
I assume so. I imagine maybe they listen to the rest separately.
That's
Or-
cute. And they saved the Patreon bit for together.
We love you. We
That's
are-
so nice.
What are you eating right now? What is it?
Tell me.
Sounds delicious.
Can I have some? Thank you.
Bon appetit.
Unless it's like a food I don't like.
Mm.
And the
if
list
you're-
is long.
Yeah, the list is long because she's quite a fussy eater.
No, I'm not.
If you've ordered in from Blue Stool or anywhere like that, I hope I know they do great food.
That's right. The creamier
That's
the better.
my problem, not yours. Obviously, my problem, not yours. I know. Is that relatable at all?
Maybe.
Because you two
I
are
didn't give a
really
shit.
affected by
I was
that.
excited by a Jaffle.
I think it's definitely a thing that I should be able to.
I think it doesn't make me not want to eat there. It just makes me laugh at their choice.
Yeah.
I go, what were you thinking?
I've just got to be stronger, I think.
Yeah, you're weak.
You weak dog.
Thank you so much, Gareth, you legend. I'd also love to thank from London town in old England. It's Marley.
Marley.
How about this? I came across this on a book cheat episode. I didn't know this was a rank in the Navy. First Sea Lord.
Oh my god.
Get fucked.
In England?
Holy shit.
I could never have seen that coming.
Wow.
First Sea Lord Marley.
Holy crap, that's good.
That is
Usually
great.
the highest ranking and most senior admiral to serve in the British Armed
Whoa.
Forces. First Sea Lord. So good.
That's-
Marley, that's you.
That's not just a cool sounding title. It's also like quite a high up, prestigious one. So that's quite an honour, Marley.
Absolutely.
So you better be grateful.
And finally from me, I'd love to thank from Ridgecrest in California, in America, Annabelle Martino.
Oh, an incredible name. Annabelle Martino.
I've just looked up a page. I just looked up unique rank names.
Uh-huh.
And I found a website called Fantasy Name Generators. And if I could just pick one of these.
Fantasy name generator, fantastic.
Purifier.
Wow. Love it. Purifier.
Purifier Annabelle Martino.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, like it sounds like they're
Sounds-
going around just
Yeah.
like killing
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
in the
right.
name of God or something.
Yeah, it sounds fucked.
Great, and with great power comes great responsibility.
Well, I could give you another option.
Yeah, I'd say give
No,
another
the
option. That one
Purifier
sounds scary to me.
Father?
High Father.
Yeah, Father who
These
likes
all,
a little chuff.
These all sound a bit full on, to be honest.
Arch Sage?
Oh, God.
Arch Justicar. What does that mean?
Okay, you're burning through a lot of them now.
Yeah, we need these.
All right, now here we go. Royal Inquisitor.
There it is. That's
Royal
good.
Inquisitor.
That doesn't
That
feel as
also
creepy.
sounds like someone torturing someone for
It
information.
doesn't sound as bad as some of the others. Purifier?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow.
I was thinking like air purifier, but no, you're probably right.
Why don't we change the title to air purifier?
Air Purifier. May I thank some people as well?
Please.
I would love to thank from deep within the Fortress of the Moles, address unknown, Connor Mackenzie.
Connor Mackenzie. What about the Right Honourable Connor
yeah.
Mackenzie?
That's always a good one, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's great. The Right Honourable. And we thank you, my lord. I would also love to thank from Greenville, South Carolina. I'm guessing SC has to be South Carolina.
Wow, very close to North Carolina, the place where the first ever mini golf course was officially built.
Oh, that's interesting. I also know about that place that's where Venus flytraps are from.
It's disgusting,
My
and I hate
gosh.
all of you. I would love to thank
Oh,
Casey Pearson.
I found a good one. Alpha Chieftain.
Whoa! Alpha.
This is from namesfrog.com.
Name's Frog?
Alpha
Yeah.
Chieftain. Casey
/
Pearson.
rank names. Alpha Chieftain.
That's great.
That's real good.
And finally, for me, I would love to thank from, well, it's English, so it's probably Rotterdam, or Rotherham. Sam.
Sam, what about, what did I say here? Squadron Leader.
Yes,
okay.
that's good. That's good.
They're on the ground. They're getting things done.
Yeah, exactly. Squadron Leader Sam.
Squad assemble.
Yeah. Assemble. Ho!
All right, Dave, do you want to thank
All the
some
way
people?
from Rotherham. I would like to thank, oh my goodness, this person is from a location unbeknownst to us.
Oh.
I can only assume it's deep within the fortress. They are known as Beyond the Cartoons.
Oh, man.
Baron.
Baron's very good.
The Baron Beyond the Cartoons.
I love that. That's a classic, solid, rock solid. Set your watch
Yeah.
to that.
That's right.
Yeah. Baron.
Thank you so
Baron.
much, Baron Beyond the Cartoons. I would like to thank now from Flagstaff, Arizona, Justice Robertson.
This one also comes from Names Frog. Demon Lord.
That's great.
Demon Lord.
Demon Lord.
Wow.
This one, in this same list, it has trainee as another option.
That's good.
Trainee Demon Lord.
How many-
Come on, put them together.
How many lists would include those two terms?
Oh, but imagine you're the trainee Demon Lord.
Trainee Demon
That's
Lord.
so good.
Love that very much.
And finally, I would like to thank from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Big shout out to Rachel Lynn.
Royal Counselor.
Oh,
Royal
Royal
Counselor.
Counselor Rachel Lynn.
Yep, I'm on thestoryshack.com.
That is so good.
That's a
Royal
good one.
Counselor. You're a counselor, but you're wearing a crown.
Fancy.
You got one of them golden sticks that them royals have. What do you call them?
Golden sticks.
Scepter.
Scepter.
of stick.
Thank you so much to Rachel, Justice Beyond, Sam, Casey, Connor, Annabelle, Marley, and Gareth. And the last thing left for us to do is welcome a few people into the Triptych Club. Now, Jess, you're so good at explaining what this club is all about.
Thank you.
Dave, do you want to do it this week?
Great. I mean, I'll have a go as the trainee demon lord. What we usually do here is we induct people into the Triptych Club, which these people have been on the shout-out level or above for 3 consecutive years. And to thank them once again for their ongoing support, we induct them into a club /Hall of Fame /hangout place. Mm-hmm. It's a theatre of the mind. It's a clubhouse. There's drinks in there. We all hang out. There's entertainment.
Yep.
You get hyped up on the way in. And Jess usually organises some sort of food or drink based on the week's topic. This week, obviously, very hard to pick a food.
Yeah. Well, because normally it's me, like, sorting the menu myself and I do all the cooking and stuff. And this week, honestly, boys, I can't be bothered. So I've got some catering in. I've just gone to, like, a fast food place.
Catering with a K?
I've got some catering.
Oh, great.
No, I went to McDonald's.
Great. Do we get hotcakes?
No.
Damn it.
It's after 10:30. So
Damn.
All I got was fish fillet.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So,
In a bun?
no.
Just
Not a McFish or whatever it's called?
It's called a fish fillet.
Is it?
It's not called a McFish.
Isn't it called something? Oh, is it? No, a filet.
A filet
of
of fish.
I was thinking it's slightly different to that, isn't it?
Fillet of fish.
Fillet of fish.
McFish. I mean, there's McChicken already. Like,
That's
but
And that definitely was on a whiteboard at one point. And they're like,
McFish
I don't think we can do
doesn't
McFish.
quite sound right.
McFish.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't know what the topic was going to be because Bec was writing the report. I mean, I'm actually the only one who did know what the report was going to be on. But instead, I got Macca's. Sorry. And then for drink, we got Mountain Dew, Pepsi, and stuff.
Okay, so you went to a different restaurant to get...
Yeah.
And I do call McDonald's a restaurant.
Come on, darling, we gotta get out for a nice meal at a restaurant.
The family restaurant. They still advertise themselves as that.
I don't think so.
That was such
I
a
think
funny
they've given up.
rebranding.
They've given up on that.
Oh no, Dave, you've booked a band for the after
Oh,
party?
you're not going to believe this.
What?
I've booked in my favourite Kentucky band.
Okay.
Oh my
Sweet.
God.
And a jacket might be required, and my morning jacket would be required because it's
Phil Collins.
my morning jacket.
Oh, yes. I saw them play in San Francisco.
Really? As the locals call it. They don't call it San Fran,
San Francisco.
No,
which we've been told.
that.
They
yeah.
call it San Francisco.
San Francisco.
So
that's
thank
what
you for
I
letting
think
us know. Otherwise, we sounded a little bit foolish.
They don't call it San Fran?
No, we once got a message saying the locals do not call it San Fran.
What do they call it? Something very vague, like the city on the bay or something.
Yes, the Bay Area. We're from the Bay Area.
But like,
City by the Bay,
but
the
we're
city that never
Australian
sleeps.
and we shorten everything.
Well, we should, if we want to respect their culture.
I don't want to respect their culture. Why would I do that? I'm Australian.
Respect their culture and call it San Francisco.
Why don't
Come
they
on.
respect my culture and say, hey, she shortened stuff. Good on her. You know what I mean? Why have I always got to be the one
Yeah, to change.
respecting cultures?
Oh, I've got to be a triangle fitting in your circle hole.
How dare
you?
Anyway.
I've bent myself into a pretzel shape for too long.
Nah, it's time to let my wings soar.
My Kentucky Fried Chicken wings.
Nah, honestly, I do like to respect cultures and people.
Yes, and we appreciate everything you do over there
Thank you so
in
much.
San Francisco, as you say.
What a great place. Bro, you're a Kentucky band?
They played.
Kentucky?
They played at probably the greatest festival I'd ever been to, lineup wise, the Bridge School Benefit, where it was like $40 for Neil Young, and
Whoa.
it was actually the last ever gig. I found out after David Crosby died, the last ever gig that Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young ever played. I was there at. Isn't that wild?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's sad that they can't play anymore.
No, but let's make it about you, and that's sick.
It just blew my when I read that in one of his death biographies. What do you call
Obituary?
it? Obituaries.
This is David Crosby's last ever gig.
No, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young's last ever gig.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The super group because
Super
Neil Young
group.
and
so
one
they
of the
played
others
on without
fell.
him. Okay.
Well, no, Neil Young just stopped playing with. I think they played on as Crosby, Stills, and Nash, maybe.
Right.
Anyway, are you ready to welcome in a few of our fantastic Triptych Club members.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yes, you've got the clipboard there. You're reading out the names. I'm the hype guy. I'm on stage inside. We're all clapping. We're all cheering. But of course, every hype guy needs a hype woman.
That's right.
And that is Jess Perkins here, who's behind the bar. Have you given us a drink?
Yeah, Mountain Dew.
Fantastic. And I do recall that very well. And I've still got this rank name page open, and I think everyone gets a ranking as soon as they enter. And
Yeah.
you climb up the ladder once you're in there. But one of the rankings on this list is Squire, which
Perfect.
everyone arrives with.
Yes.
Once you enter the club, you are a Squire.
You're a squire.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if I can kick us off, I'm standing there with the door list.
Yep.
I'm going to read your name. When you hear it, run on in. Dave's on the stage, hyping you up.
Here we
Jess is
go.
hyping up Dave.
Yep.
Are we ready? Here we go. Got a few in today. From Geelong in Victoria, Australia, it's Brianna Nash.
Not making a splash. They're making a Nash. It's Brianna Nash.
Maybe the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young Nash. It's not.
Matt.
From Westfield, sorry. From Westfield.
fuck?
I went off script. From Westfield, Indiana in the United States, it's Ronaldo Scalzi.
In Westfield, Adelphia, born and raised,
raised.
Ronaldo Scalzi, hanging out with my days.
Westfield,
my Dave.
Adelphi.
Idiot.
With my Dave.
From Baltimore in Maryland in the United States, it's Jocelyn Kravitz.
I couldn't get any Baltimore of this person.
Yes, Jocelyn.
Are you going to go my way, Jocelyn?
Matt, stop trying. It's Dave's thing.
Come on, they would have heard.
Jesus Christ, keep the flow
They would have
going.
heard Kravitz their whole life, but this is
From-
unique.
Jocelyn,
Address
fuck.
unknown. I hope you're raving on, Jocelyn. For the Baltimore Ravens.
Can you stop it?
From address unknown, assumed from deep within the fortress of the moles, it's Sarah Horton.
Sarah, here's a who.
That's good stuff.
That's
thank
what's up.
you.
No notes. From Florenceville, Bristol in Canada, it's Jamie Allison.
You got anything for this one?
Allison, I hope you
It's harder than it looks, isn't it?
me.
Jamie.
My aim is
So-
true, Allison.
Couldn't pay me to not hang out with
Great.
Jamie.
I was going to say the night's not going to be lamey now. Jamie's here, but that's even better. So
enough
we've
it
all,
is.
we've all had to go there.
From Chemnitz in Deutschland, it's Dominic Linder.
Well, you got
Sorry, it's Dominic Lindner.
I'd swipe right on Dominic Linder.
Oh,
Sounds
like,
a bit like Tinder.
Okay. And from Hook in Great Britain, it's Kieran Marshall. Holla for a Marshall.
What does that mean?
Unfucking believable.
I just saw you pausing. I
All
thought I
right.
was helping.
I was
No,
not
you didn't even.
No, there was
you
no
didn't
pause.
pause.
There
They
was
might
no
have
pause.
edited out the pause, but there was a pause.
There was zero pause because I was going to say, Kieran, you've got me hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
From St. Charles in MO, USA, it's Sarah Rayfield. MO, Montana, maybe?
Probably.
Oh, right.
Sarah Rayfield.
Sarah Rayfield.
Are you also saying there's no pause here, Dave? Do you need... This is why I have to say.
There's no pause. There's no pause here.
You're a saint
More
to
like,
me.
hooray, Field.
Okay,
Sarah's
there we go.
here.
Yeah,
That's actually
Now,
really good.
now hype me up.
You're amazing.
Okay,
Woo!
great. Now back to you. Back to you.
Splashdown.
You've got this.
From Peabody, MA, USA, it's Miguel Acosta.
What's it going to cost you to come in? Nothing, because you're on the guest list.
It's free. Woo!
Dave, what's MO? What's MA? I thought you were going to help me out there.
Oh, okay.
He's busy.
I thought one of them's Missouri, isn't it?
Yeah, MO seems like Missouri, maybe. And from Cairns, in Queensland, Australia, it's Andy Hales.
Cans. It was full of cans. Speed there. And MO is Missouri, so
Nice.
apologies if we said the wrong name earlier.
And what about MA? Massachusetts? Andy, we hails you. And finally, from Address Unknown, gotta assume deep within the Fortress of the Moles, it's Kim Forsgren.
They ain't dim, it's Kim.
Yeah.
We ain't against Gren, we're Forsgren. Okay, I'm sorry, Jess.
See,
Just want to be involved. Thanks so much, everybody, and welcome in Squires one and all. Kim, Andy, Miguel, Sarah, Kieran, Dominic, Jamie, Sarah, Jocelyn, Ronaldo, and Brianna. Now, is there anything we need to tell everyone before we boot this baby home?
That if you would like to suggest a topic, if you have come across a story that you think would make for a fun Do Go On episode, you don't have to be a Patreon, you don't have to contribute any kind of money or anything. You can suggest a topic. And there's a link in our show notes. There's also a link on our website, which is dogoonpod.com. You can find us across social media at dogoonpod. And we love you.
Yeah.
Wash your butt.
If you're new to the show, check out our YouTube channel. There's some videos on there, old tour diaries and a few live recorded episodes. And we might even be putting more old live episodes up soon. So that's youtube.com/dogoonpod.
Fantastic. Well said, one and all. We'll be
He
back.
was not listening.
No one's talking. Better jump in here.
Fantastic.
I love and
yes.
agree with whatever you just said. No, I listened to everything you said. We're
right.
going to put more YouTube videos up, and I think you should absolutely like and subscribe. Hey, thanks so much for listening. We'll be back next week. But until then, also thank you so much for listening, and goodbye.
Later.